If you're tired of being censored on social media, join 60s.net. It's black owned, black operated, and black moderated, and we make sure it stays a safe space for us to talk about all things black culture. We also got some cool gear like the FDM Cotton Crew Neck, the Fearless Ancestors tee, hats, and more. Check us out at 60s.net. Hey girl, why are you so sad?
I just got banned from Twitter again.
Should have been on 60s.net. Ah.
All right, welcome once again to the Beatzilla PDX official show. I am your host, Beatzilla PDX officially, and we are here for the midweek report. You know, as we do here every Wednesday. Let me get this banner going, and as we are getting going here, please, as you're coming in, hit the like and share button. And if you are not already subscribed to this broadcast, please go hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell that says all. That way you can be alerted every time this broadcast goes live or a video is uploaded. And also, it will allow you to participate in the chat. So if you want to be part of the chat and what's going on, you have to be a subscriber. So once you subscribe, you will be in the fold here in the chat, and you can participate. We always keep it respectable, no cuss words, because YouTube does like to ban people and censor folks. So keep it tight and right, please. With that being said, you know, this is, of course, a B1 space, a new black media space. Me, myself, being one of the members and voices of the new black media. And, you know, have been so for a little minute now. And over in my little space of the world, you know, we have a smaller subscriber base here because this is one of my later platforms that I'm building up in the specific lane. So also just wanted to make sure that, you know, some people know, some people don't. So with that being said, let me see who all is in the chat. All right, we got B. Mick in the house, Bryce Bees. Oh, and while I'm reading these names off, please let me know what the temperature is where you guys are right now. Because it's been freezing here. We're on a cold front. And from here all the way down to LA is pretty much freezing. So Bryce Bees, One Who Cares, Rayvon Johnson, Brandon Cruz Sings, Capricornus, Aboriginal Woman 61, Silent D Productions, Onika, Judah Queen, Oyela Arquette, Ayam Mayat Bay, Sugar Jones, Black Magic 32. All right, 32 degrees where you at. Okay. 80 degrees where you at, Aaron? Oh, Lord. Well, you guys had the cold front before we did, so I guess we're catching up to y'all. And that's, I mean, man, we was down to like 26 because it doesn't really get that cold here in Portland, but good grief. John Patterson, B1, damn near 70 degrees. Okay. So it looks like the whole cold front just shifted over to the West Coast. So we dealing with what y'all had. 70, where you at, Aboriginal Woman? 76, Silent D. Oh yeah, y'all okay? So yeah, y'all out there kind of chilling. So we over here getting it on the West Coast right now. It's cold. So you might hear my heater. Silver Tulip, Okay, Onika 49 in Cali, right? Silver Tulip 73. Yellow Cat negative 12 degrees Celsius. What is that? Because that's some Canadian numbers. What's the breakdown of that? Okay, Black Magic, you in Portland too? Yeah. Okay, you know what exactly what it's feeling like right here. Capricornus, you're 52 over here on the West Coast. You must be more southern. Good grief, Lord, Oriela Cat. That just sounds cold. Good grief. But I mean, that's the the Maple Leaf territory. So I remember my very first time in Canada, seeing nothing but it looked like a Swiss Miss box driving into Canada. So you look just plain. It looked like straight out of a Swiss Miss box, hot chocolate box. Very pretty sight, real pretty sight. So let's get on into it. Um, the Kyle Rittenhouse effect has came to Portland, and as many of you know, I'm based right here in the city of Portland, Oregon. Um, some people call it the Iceman land, I guess, because some people, might tend to get away from just simply calling out white supremacy for what it is. I don't play any games or use code names. So we call it direct on this space here. Narmer X, what's going on? CH464, welcome, welcome. So with that being said, we have had an incident happen here with this cat, Benjamin Smith, who now see y'all got to understand about the West Coast, and especially up here in Portland, we have a lot of liberal white allies, and we do have some legitimate allies here that you know, and that's it is what it is. You got to work with what you got. But with that being said, y'all saw how fast old Maria Garcia came out the woodwork to go put the kibosh on black folks getting any set aside money just specifically for black folks here in the state of Oregon. And she was always around us talking about, oh, yeah, hands up, don't shoot. Black and brown, we go through the same things you go through. Lord. Gregory Van Leer Jr., welcome, welcome, brother. What's good, music man? Oh, man, I can't call it. We are here on another one. We got this crazy mayor, Ted Wheeler, who, I've caught slipping before. Back in the Periscope days. If anybody remembers Periscope, he was out at a Proud Boys rally, shaking hands with the Proud Boys. And subsequently, none of the local media was out there to catch him. There just so happened to be somebody who was actually live. So we've had our own Democratic mayor shaking hands with Oath Keepers and Proud Boys. But when we're downtown protesting at the city building for Quantas Hayes, you even have Jesse Jackson coming here. So there's been things that's happened here that we've been out here for, and this is an absolute Democratic city. There's no chance of a Republican running in this town. Put it to you like this. And I'll tell you what, we haven't had the first black non-white mayor yet. We have not had one non-white mayor as liberal as this place is supposed to be. So we are going to delve into something this evening, something that a lot of the Kyle Rittenhouse fans often don't like me doing. But this broadcast tonight will be one of those episodes to where we are dissecting white supremacy. You dig? And we also going to have to dig into the Democrats because something I'm noticing right now, we're having a lot of people who was black, bliggity black. Now, normally these people would be able to build up about a good 3 years of history on the social media circuit and then pull their let's vote Democrat routine. But because the heat is on right now, the Democrats are, let me say, I suspect that the Democrats are sending out their shields to come into, like I said, the grassroots COINTELPRO type tactics. So they're going to come into these pro-black spaces, and try. Some of these people are even posing themselves as media individuals. And a lot of these people, I think most of us can recognize, we have never even heard of these people before. They're just popping out of nowhere. All of a sudden, you got a whole following. I don't know about you. And, anybody should be leery because what do I say? Vet everyone, everything, and at this point, vet every place. You understand? So if you're vetting it, vet me. So don't just take my word for it. Research the shit I say. By all means, please help yourself to do some beneficial research behind what I say and what I present. So without further ado, I guess we will get right on into it. I'm gonna play you. Well, first let me set this up. So we had a protest for Amir Locke and other individuals. So we were having a anti-police brutality rally. That's what this was. Now, there's people out there who are armed security. Now, you're going to have a lot of misinformation because the white supremacist media apparatus, as well as when I guess you could, for all intents and purposes, throw our local law enforcement into that because they also were responsible for putting out false stories, which is amazing, huh? Funny how that happens, huh? Supposed to be a reliable source. So what happens is this man goes out here and shoots a what some people wanted to run out there like Andy Nago and all of these other right-wing conservative outlets wanted to pose it as Antifa. Antifa. They weren't even mentioning Black Lives Matter. Mind you, it wasn't even Black Lives Matter. I've told y'all 1,000 times. If y'all look on my hashtags that I'm using about this incident, Black Lives Matter is nowhere near it. Black Lives Matter is a slogan, but this is a protest by Don't Shoot PDX, which Don't Shoot PDX is pretty much the first organization that refused to be bought. So that's how Black Lives Matter evolved for those who don't know. And that's why your Patrice Colors and all of these were all out in this Pacific Northwest for a little time heavy. Early, and for those of y'all who remember, Bernie Sanders running against Hillary Clinton. Anybody remember when they ran up on the stage? So, needless to say, this guy was disgruntled and went out there with his pistol. Well, from what I understand from people on the ground, this man actually was out there arguing and then went back in and came back out to continue arguing, then pulled out and fired. They are police. First said that this was an incident. Oh, let me get this banner off. Said this was an incident that happened with a homeowner trying to defend himself. So I'm just giving you that little tasty tidbit of information first. Check this out, family.
And now an update on the Portland mass shooting story. Cops there have finally filed murder charges against Benjamin Smith, who allegedly confronted protesters at a peaceful Black Lives Matter march and opened fire on them, killing one and injuring 4 others, including paralyzing someone. Now, police initially claimed that Smith was just a local homeowner who clashed with other armed protesters. In reality, though, it was an ambush by a far-right reactionary. And only after it started did an armed member of the protest return fire, critically wounding Smith and ending the shooting. Protester was initially charged with 2 felonies. Both have since been dropped after the district attorney's office determined that the retaliatory shooting was done in self-defense. Providing the most insight into Smith's motives was his roommate, who told reporters that Smith was often angry and ranted against liberals and mask mandates, and even talked about wanting to shoot commies and Antifa, quote, all the friggin' time. Smith was also allegedly involved in a local furry meetup before he was kicked out for his alt-right beliefs and violent tendencies. He faces 1 count of second-degree murder, 4 counts of attempted first-degree murder with a firearm, and 4 counts of assault with a firearm.
Now, see, we have a few hurt, suspected white supremacists out here who are looking a little funny right now because, see, we pointed this out earlier, and I was like, well, he's already been outed here. So, the mainstream media, this is something that happened on the local end here. So, I mean, you wasn't going to be able to beat us to the punch here. Didn't happen. So what they did try to do, and shame on them, they tried to scrub this man's internet history before people could grasp it. And they were already in. See, this is what's so dirty, because they got caught in the middle of doing it. So what is now left is the stuff that they were able to make sure they could get their hands on. And then what they tried to do is also talk about how somebody took something of pertinent information to the case from the scene. So they were trying to make it seem. Now, mind you, the way that the suspected white supremacist media is breaking it down, they're presenting this as if Antifa is out there. And this is literally a Don't Shoot PDX event. So they're out there chanting Black Lives Matter. So for all intents and purposes, every time you'll see this in the media, they aren't framing this correctly. Truth be told, what you have in Portland right now is the Kyle Rittenhouse effect. This is an individual who left his apartment with his weapon and decided to go shoot protesters, to which he already previously identified he wanted to do. You feel me? So when you have people like that, it makes you think, how will this end? Because it damn sure better end this way. All them counts. So you see this guy up here on the left, of right above the brother. That's him. He's 43 years old, believe it or not. Believe it or not, he's 43 years old. And yeah. mass shooter, and they're really trying to downplay this. So, but happened in the wrong city. That's a hard 43. I know that's right. Happened to the wrong city and to the wrong group. So, you got people that know, good and damn well. I mean, I just posted you something from its leader. So, good and damn well. Oh, nah, we got the information on this one. You dig? Yeah, we got you. And I'm so glad because, see, like I said, here I can legitimately say there are some true non-black allies out there that put work in. And one of the things that they did is made sure that they got this dude's name, because it's damn sure not because the police was trying to. If y'all have watched my Twitter, I showed y'all that they were holding on to his name. They were not mentioning his name. And then the DA had to literally basically explain the differences in the facts of the case from what the police actually reported. So, because remember, I don't know if anybody's, I don't know how y'all local law enforcement does there, but here there's a press department for our local police. So they submit whatever it is they want to the media. So, they knew what they put out there. They knew this was not true information, but they wanted to make sure they could set that narrative, and they already went full speed into it. So, family, oh man, we gonna get into it. So I'm gonna play these next 3 videos, and then we're gonna rap about this.
With breaking news, charges have been filed against the man accused in Saturday's deadly mass shooting. We just learned 43-year-old Benjamin Smith faces, among other charges, 1 count of second-degree murder and 4 counts of attempted murder. This after police say Smith opened fire on a crowd at a racial justice rally in Northeast Portland. Our Maggie Vespa joins us now with more on the charges and what neighbors are saying about Smith. Maggie?
Yeah, Laurel, we'll start with those charges. We know Smith faces 9 counts total, including several for assault, and his bail is set at $2 million. Now, keep in mind, Benjamin Smith is, authorities said today, in the hospital, still in serious condition. This after police said someone in the crowd of demonstrators fired back at him on Saturday to try and stop the shooting. Court documents show Smith lives in an apartment complex near Northeast Portland's Normandale Park, where this rally and shooting happened on Saturday. Witnesses said he confronted people blocking traffic for the demonstration, called them, quote, violent terrorists, and ordered them to leave. They said he then got angry and started shooting. One demonstrator said, police said, fired back and shot Smith in the hip. 6 people total were shot. One woman, you just saw her ID'd as 60-year-old June Knightley, died. Neighbors today have told us they're sadly not surprised. They have said Smith was often angry. They said he blames, for instance, homeless people for the city's housing crisis and was increasingly fixated on the racial justice protests of 2020. They also said he was angry about anti-police rhetoric. And late today, I talked to his next-door neighbor.
He was always a little bit aggressive and kind of protective of his property. There were multiple times over the years that he's brandished guns out at people going through our trash in the courtyard. That was one thing. If you ever got him talking, he would end up talking about whatever gun he's got, new one coming or whatever. It was just, he always had them out.
Chelsea Blando adding there that when she heard her neighbor had been named the suspect in this shooting, she thought it was only a matter of time before someone pushed him too far. Laurel, again, the update tonight, 43-year-old Benjamin.
Before someone pushed him too far?
Smith has now been charged with murder and with multiple counts of attempted murder in Saturday's deadly mass shooting at that racial justice protest.
Well, Maggie, you mentioned June Knightley, who died in the shooting. What do we know about the other victims who were shot and survived?
Sure, there are details in these court documents that were just filed. 4 people were wounded but survived. 2 of them are still in the hospital, and prosecutors say one of those 2 was shot in the neck and paralyzed from the neck down. That person is in critical condition. And the second person of those 2 was shot multiple times, including in the abdomen, and is also still in the hospital. 2 other victims were shot and have since been released. And again, Benjamin Smith, the alleged shooter, also still in the hospital tonight.
Just a terrible, terrible situation. Thank you, Maggie.
Sure.
Yeah, that's actually what you call a terrorist attack. That's a mass shooter. A mass shooting attack. That's what that is. At a peaceful protest. Had these other individuals not been armed security, how many would this man have actually been able to kill? So what we're looking at right now with this Kyle Rittenhouse effect is this vigilante, I'm going to make black people do what I want attitude. And I'm really going to go hard and extra on Negro lovers. Because they're race traitors. They're out here with this liberal agenda, helping all of these, because of something that his roommate said, is that he would often be in his room yelling racial slurs. So it is what it is. Check this out.
Tonight with friends mourning the loss of a Portland woman shot and killed Saturday night. It happened during a rally for racial justice in Northeast Portland. Catherine Cook spoke with those who knew June Knightley, a person they say lived to stand up for others.
Just the shock of knowing that she was shot and killed was unbelievable to me.
It's the collective response from those who knew and loved 60-year-old June Knightley. Multiple sources tell KGW the Portland woman was shot and killed during a rally for racial justice Saturday night at Normandale Park. Police have not confirmed her identity.
Take some time to mourn the loss of June. Keep her in your heart and in your light, and keep fighting the good fight.
Close friend Nacy Runyon says it's what Knightley would want people to do. The two reconnected in 2020 after the murder of George Floyd. They attended several marches and demonstrations together. Runyon says Knightley, whose nickname was T-Rex, would often provide security during protests or direct traffic to protect demonstrators.
She just had that demeanor about her to keep everyone calm and keep everyone safe. And she was just this bright light of a motherly figure as well. And that's why everybody had just warmed up to her almost immediately because of what she did for everybody else.
Knightley leaves behind a wife, an adult son, and a community that friends say treasured her. That includes Belinda Carroll.
She described herself as a pacifist more than once. So, so that was kind of where she lived, was de-escalation and making sure that people were talking to each other in a calm way.
Details from Saturday's shooting are still emerging. Police say 5 other people were hurt. They say the scene was so chaotic, they're still gathering evidence to prove, quote, who was a suspect and who was a victim, adding many at the rally refused to talk to them. A woman who...
Did you catch that? They're trying to figure out who the victim was. Now, mind you, again, like I said, this at the end of the day, this is white on white crime here. Now, what they have been doing here is going out of their way to make black people the face of gun violence here. And the truth of the matter is, we are having more white on white shootings than black on black. So that's why you might see somebody here, they'll say something like, hey, what about Chicago? We live in Portland. So why are we talking about crime in Chicago? We don't live there. We live here. And so the truth of the matter is, we're not the face of crime here. Y'all are. But if you look at the local media and our mayor, because you see how they framing this? Oh, we don't know who. And just like the last one I just played, oh, it's so sad. And man, and this attack. Anybody want to call in and give us any information about the shooting? Since when have you ever had the media say the police are asking the public to call in with information on a police involved or a police involved incident to where they already know what happened? They already got this man in the hospital because he got shot in the hip, so you know what's happening. And what the problem is the police overshot it by releasing the fact that this man got shot in defending his home. Our police actually released that. That's what makes it so bad. Our law enforcement put that shit out.
Who was among those injured told the New York Times a man who lived near the park fired at a group that was rerouting traffic ahead of a planned march.
The only thing I knew for sure is that there was 2 separate guns that got shot.
Jeff Pry lives across the street and heard the shooting.
It's a tragedy all the way around, but knowing my son was in the living room and then a bullet could have went through our front window at any time. For what? I'm not really sure.
As the investigation continues, friends and loved ones focus on the person they lost. A small group gathered Monday night at Director Park downtown and marched in honor of June Knightley.
It's a real slap in the face that this happened. And, I think everybody's going to be sad for a long time.
Police so far not confirming any details about the shooter. The Oregonian says the man who lives next to the park was injured when an armed demonstrator returned fire. A family member also told the Oregonian the suspect had grown increasingly upset with the protests across the city and in his neighborhood. We'll keep following the story for you and keep you updated.
All right. No regard for life. Well, no, he obviously had regard for certain life. But see, when you got to know something about how these people think, oftentimes suspected white supremacists view white allies as worse than being black. Some do, and so they'll look at them as like, what are you doing out here? You shouldn't be out here. And again, if they perceive that they're in a race war, like this man did, well, then you'll see him stockpiling weapons and whatnot, which I believe I did show that. Let me see if I have that. Let me see if I have that in here, because I got to show y'all when they raided his house. And actually, we gotta look at some of these tweets too. There we go. Let me show you. Download this. Let me show you this cat's house, because this cat just got buku guns. No, not that. Okay. Let's see. Come download. Bear with me 1 second while I find this. Okay. Because they're really going out of their way to downplay this cat here. And they really shouldn't be. Look, my sound was off. Now it is. All right, check this out. So this is at the dude's apartment. Now, mind you, they said the police initially said he was a homeowner protecting his property. Yeah, let me play that one more time for you. You see how many guns they pulled out this dude's house? What is this cat planning for? And that's not no damn house, by the way. So, I mean, Capricornus, what war was he planning on? I guess he was going to drive somewhere else because it wasn't going to pop off here. But that is real interesting. So what he would, it's not really surprising what he did because, like I said, there were armed people there. So he knew there were people armed there. He didn't approach them. He went to a woman on a cane. Oh, I guess I didn't mention that part yet. So the woman, the 60-year-old woman that he killed, is actually a disabled woman on a cane. Now, she was able to hold her own and hold a rifle for security purpose, but she was a de-escalator person. So she was there for peace. So, and I mean, Aeon Mayat Bay, soft targets. So check this out. So, we have a lot of, since tension has built up, and so we've been going through a lot of black faces in prominent positions here as far as it goes with the police. Not anywhere near as far as lawmaking or changing. We have two city council members, the first black woman and the first black man, I believe. Now that they have both made the city council, they're talking about now dissolving the city council and how it doesn't work. So, there's that. Last time they did something like that is when we had a black police commissioner. And our last police commissioner that's not the mayor was our last black police commissioner. Go figure. See how, when black folks can get in power, things just change? So this is a press conference from earlier today. I want you to listen to what this woman who comes in interrupting him says. Let me see him get this dude because he's getting ready to lie. He's finna get to, getting ready to toe the line real tough. Let's keep going. Where are we at here?
They attempted to start.
Okay, there we go.
With the Portland Police Bureau, and currently the Public Information Officer. So I want to talk about three recent incidents that happened, one on Thursday and several that happened yesterday. The first one is that on Thursday, the new Focus Intervention Team was out patrolling, and they attempted to stop a vehicle that began driving erratically and eventually ran from them. An officer set up some stop sticks, which are meant to flatten tires of vehicles, on the entrance to I-84 from 39th. And as the vehicle was passing by, someone in the vehicle began shooting at the officer. So fortunately, the officer was not hit. The officer's okay. And but I wanted to thank the agencies in Washington that eventually were able to stop the disabled vehicle. And I wanted to thank our officers who were showing up every day, even though they're being shot at. This is very dangerous. It's becoming a more...
Now, he was going into his love the police politics, political spiel. And, oh, man, we got to respect our police. Yeah, real quickly, fam. What about these two fellas? Because they ain't seeming to get in the same consideration right now. I mean, I wonder why. What possibly could be the case? I mean, man. All right. Well, who knows? So anyway, and they're actually cops. But, we got to respect police. I bet they would love to hear that from an officer, but we'll get to their story in a little bit.
And more dangerous job. So I just wanted to thank the Washington agencies and our officers who are showing up every day. So last night, and I will just tell you guys, I'm gonna tell you everything I know at this point. I will give you a chance to ask questions later, but most likely my answer is going to be I can't give you comment because I'm going to give you everything that I do know now. So at just after 8 p.m., officers were called to the 900 block of Southwest Broadway Drive on a disturbance call. And while they were still en route, they got updates from radio, from our dispatchers, that shots were being fired. So officers put in a shelter-in-place order. I believe it is an apartment complex. They put in a shelter-in-place order, arrived, and set up a perimeter. While they were investigating and addressing...
Hey, press! Guess what? You guys want to talk about how a white supremacist kidnapped me and those charges got dropped? And stand by and act like these police did not cause it all. They are murdering us. They are murdering us. Joshua Dunham kidnapped me and almost murdered me.
They cut the mic real quick.
Gypsy jokers. They are sending white supremacists to hurt us.
Tell the fucking truth. Tell the fucking truth.
All you need to know this.
Hold on.
All you need to... I'm the founder of Riot Ribs. I've been out here. They are sending people to kidnap us. They send people to kill us. And y'all need to know this.
Hold on. Do y'all know they purposely pulled a medic off of somebody dying last night and put him in fucking handcuffs? Did you drop that? Did you drop that, son?
Let's talk about the protester who got detained giving medical aid last night by your police.
20 minutes for an ambulance.
Tell them what happened.
20 minutes.
Last night.
20
white
minutes
supremacists.
for a fucking ambulance.
We're getting threats from all these white supremacists.
20 minutes for a fucking ambulance.
Shooting. Y'all let August 22nd. How many cops were off on August 22nd? How many cops were off? Letting them shoot at us in the street. Letting us buck all this shit. I ain't gonna stand here and let these cops lie. I'm not going to stand here and let these cops lie when they are sending gypsy jokers to kidnap us. When they are sanctioning this violence against us. As Ted Wheeler is telling these white supremacists to stand back and stand by.
Ted Wheeler's our Democratic mayor. Yikes. Woo.
We are dying. We are trying to peacefully protest, and they are killing us. And I want to know if any of you care. I want to know if this police officer cares. I want to know if Ted Wheeler cares.
Andy, no!
We are not going to let
Andy,
them
no!
capture the narrative and lie.
Wait, ready? Hey, y'all say this name with me.
Go,
Say this
Zach.
name with me. Ready? A-N-D-Y-N-G-O. Andy, no! Andy, no!
Andy,
And
no!
you.
Doxing us. Andy, no! Doxing us. You guys are letting these white supremacists terrorize us in our own city.
Did you hear that, Andy? Looks like some people's not happy with your antics out here, Andy. Yeah, see, a lot of people don't know. Andy No gets zero traction out here in these streets. White folks still on that guy out here. He's been complaining about getting slapped up because he goes down there. Everybody know who he is. You go down there and get slapped up and then claim victim. And then he tried to pull his gun on somebody once. That didn't work. It's like nobody takes you seriously, dude. So, yeah. So for all the y'all who didn't know, the Asian racist, suspected white supremacist, Andy No, he's from my city too. Same as half majority of them Proud Boys and Patriot Prayer. Enrique Tarrio I guess he's actually supposedly technically a resident of Florida. I thought he lived here, but you know, I guess being a domestic terrorist affords a lot of domestic travel. So, you know, white nationalism must pay very well.
We've been out here 2 years protesting against police-sanctioned violence. And y'all are killing us. These police are killing us. These police are killing unarmed black people. These people, they are having white supremacists.
Ask about it.
Since Sean Killinger, white supremacists killed him. This has been going on for years. And I want to know what the city of Portland is going to do about this. I want to know what all these people are going to do about this.
Hey, what about Garrett Fernbaugh?
So, as you see who's about to speak, let's get ready to hear what this guy has to say. I think he's pretty much out of gas, so now he has to just stick with this.
Doesn't look like we'll be able to continue. If you guys want to give them a voice, that's good. But I don't think I'll be able to speak today. Okay? So thank you for showing up. I appreciate it.
How about the truth? You're a fucking coward.
Now tell me that the media ain't in on this. Tell me that the local media ain't in on this. Hey, you see how fast they fade to black? They fade to black so quick it ain't funny. Boy. There's up. Their producers in the truck was like this. Jeez. Oh my Lord. Now, why are they sending the brother out there? This isn't a police shooting. Are y'all peeping this? They almost treating this dude like he police. This is supposed to be a civilian. But they are kind of referring to him as almost he's in the position of law enforcement. But no, he was in the law enforcement arm of the system of white supremacy, which by the law, as we just so seen with the McMichaels here, that will make you guilty. And you actually, it's only because this woman is white that there's no hate crime talk. But truth be told, if somebody is going out here killing a white person in the name of them being a race traitor, is that not also now a hate crime? What separates that guy from these guys? Oh, well, at least they shot a man. He goes and picks a fight with women. Good going, douchebag. So he still got shot in the hip, which boy, that must have been some hip shot. Cause he's still jacked up. But let me show you yeah, let me get in here to show you some of this cat's rhetoric. So I'll show you. This is a picture that can be attributed to this fella. Oh wait, I hit the wrong thing. Hold on. And I'm because see what people's like. Oh well, how do you? Where's your receipts? Sorry, white supremacists, but I'm from Portland. So this is one of the pictures from this cat's page. And so this is one of the people he didn't like. He was like, oh, it's one of those wannabe Antifas. Why? Because, well, here's a white gentleman who has a shirt on that says, back the black. Well, he wasn't too particularly fond of that idea. I wonder why. And then there's the lady, the recently departed. Dig. This was actually what the event was. So let's just put it all in perspective. We talking about the Kyle Rittenhouse effect comes to Portland. Does this not have a familiar sound to you? You dig? I mean, man. In solidarity with Minneapolis. And then justice for Patrick Kimmons, for those who are not from Portland, Oregon. You would not, and all others, by the way, you would not be familiar with him. He was a brother here shot in the back by Portland police. So, that's unfortunately how that happened. Now, he was in a prior incident, but at the time that he got shot in the back, you can't say that you're in fear for your life when he's running away. So let's see. Here is one person that had chimed in the other night in this thread of the people who were involved. Says, correction, immediately he shot us. 4 unarmed women who were not even with the protest and who were trained de-escalators, including a 60-year-old woman with a cane. We were alone and he gunned us down. We're traffic safety volunteers and the protest was on the other side of the park. You might say, okay, more Roy Gain, whatever, 13 says, I am also one of the victims. I was unarmed. The people he shot were unarmed unless you want to count the cane, the cane the woman who died used to walk. Okay, and that would be T-Rex, the 60-year-old. So that's the woman who he killed. So he killed a woman with a cane. I was trying to de-escalate him, and I told him, go home and enjoy your night. Have a beer. Nobody's doing anything to you. And then he shot two of my friends and shot me in the back of the head. The fact that any of us are alive after that is an effing miracle. And once again, there's the 43-year-old Benjamin Simmons. I think it's Benjamin David Simmons or something like that, or Smith. Benjamin Smith. There he is again, 43 years old. 43. So what does that say? That means that he's, middle-aged man who has extreme racist extremist views, violent extremist views. Now, here's what Andy No was doing. It's possible now the shooting happened because a homeowner had been shot up on by the Antifa extremists. You see how they lie? Do you see how they lie? The narrative by Antifa that was far-right attack is falling apart and no evidence has appeared to support it. Ooh, boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, did that ever backfire. Let's see, let's get back here. Let's see, the deceased woman from Antifa versus homeowner shooting in Portland has been identified as June Knightley. She used the moniker T-Rex. Investigators say their investigation has been hampered by the likely removal of evidence from the scene and lack of cooperation from the witnesses. See, now he's already trying to walk it back. Wait a minute, you said 43 is middle age? Yeah, I'm going to call it that. I ain't going to call it old. So this, let's see. That's a convention? No. Okay. These are, okay. So these are different, I guess, chat board messages. And they were trying to erase the history on these boards, but some people were able to still grab a few of these little. So if you didn't know, he's Polybun in the conversation here. So although if you make me choose one, socialist or the other, I'm taking Nazis over Antifa. Nazis have way, way, way hotter uniforms. Shout out Coco Chanel. Oh, wow. Proud Boys shot up somebody's car. They probably deserved it. Thus far, they sadly haven't shot up someone's car, but good Christ, that needs to happen. Yeah, there's one of his. That's Andy. So this is who he was following. So you get an idea. Mm-hmm. So here is the other part. So this is from Smith's own brother. Arthur Killerson said Smith had an issue with protesters in the neighborhood, but otherwise seemed fine when they last spoke a week ago. Splaining. Kilson, who learned about the shooting and his brother's alleged involvement when the reporter contacted him, said he hasn't been able to find out any more details. I've called every hospital there and all. Wait, is this right? I've called every hospital there Oh, but he must be at another place. Okay. All of them say he's not a patient. Well, of course they don't. He's a gunshot. Well, they were trying to make him a gunshot victim, but he's not. Yeah, he said hotter. I don't know how the hell you may go with they're hotter. Like I said, a shout out to Coco Chanel. If y'all didn't know, Chanel designed them uniforms. So for those of y'all who be rocking Chanel, you rocking Nazi shit. If you didn't know, fun fact. Oh man, oh man, oh man. Okay, let's see. I've called both the detectives that were listed on the one of the articles I read, and neither one of them would answer their phone. I called the detective branch itself and got a recorded message, and that was it. Your police department in Portland sucks. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Looks like we are. I just got an alert. Looks like Putin is announcing a military operation in Ukraine. Not like we didn't know. I'll get to that too, though, because that involves the Biden sexuals and these brain dead morons. So anyway, in a press release Sunday afternoon, the Portland Police Bureau described the incident as very complicated and said investigators are trying to put this puzzle together without having all the pieces. On Tuesday, police said they believe people removed critical evidence from the scene that and are asking those people or any other witnesses to contact detectives. Oh, you didn't know, Queen Adia? You did? Yeah. And hey, Louise. I see you in the chat. See you made it. Let's see what else we got in here. I got another one. There's just to give you an idea of the kind of cat. This is the cat that I just showed you. So that's the same car. And there's Andy. So just giving you an idea of the type of vibe that cat was on. And then with all them damn weapons he had in his house. Yeah, that damn straight is the Kyle Rittenhouse effect. Better know it. Better know it. Because at the end of the day, what did Kyle Rittenhouse do? He didn't go shoot black people. He did attempt. He did attempt to shoot a black person, but he did not successfully kill any black people. No. What he did was go to a protest against police violence for a black slain and brought his gun to complain and then shoot someone. Other than him being in his own neighborhood, what's the difference between him and Kyle Rittenhouse? Is that he couldn't sell the line? He couldn't sell the line, huh? Of course not. So from that, we got to talk about how the contrast of justice and white supremacy plays a hand in what we're seeing with this situation in Portland, where we have a whole mayor over here basically trying to protect the identity of a white supremacist. We can't call him a white supremacist, suspected white supremacist, but we do know he has racist views and has uttered racial slurs in the past. So this is something we are well aware of. So that we can go with. So I guess for all intents and purposes, I'll bank on the fact that he is probably a racist. So we'll stick with that. You did. So in New Orleans, in Jefferson's Parish, now we often hear "Back the Blue," and just like this cat was finna go into this spiel about how, oh man, the people ain't really respecting the police. Shoot, they got to respect the cops. Well, It seems like when it is black officers and the person that they kill is white, even if they have a long rap sheet, a known criminal, a known violent felon, which is pretty interesting, who is parked in front of a crack house at 2:30 in the morning. He's in his truck. The police spend 12 to 13 minutes trying to negotiate him out of the truck. They say that he turns the car on and somehow hits the horn. Then they start opening fire because these two officers feared for their lives. Well, typically when somebody tells you, hey, turn that car off, get out of the car. I mean, isn't that why Dante Wright is dead? Because they weren't just going to let him drive off now, were they? Right? That wasn't about to take place. So, but I guess these two people were supposed to be a little more careful with a crackhead. I guess that might be that Hunter Biden rule. You know, when smoking crack is different, you know, because smoking crack is different when you're white, right? I don't know. But I will say this. We don't have all the facts on the case, so we cannot rush to judgment on these two brothers. And at the end of the day, I cannot in good faith take a stand against our own, even if they had on that uniform, to be done wrong just because. See, we're complaining about racial police violence, race soldiers. This is they feared for their lives and they don't even get the benefit of the doubt. So when they tell you that they have a video camera, body camera footage, they're not releasing the body camera footage. Yet these two dudes are already charged within a week. So let's go see how this all happens, and then let's see how it transpires.
Showing Jefferson Parish deputies fatally shooting a man in a car. Good evening, I'm Karen Swenson.
And I'm Katie Moore. Tonight there are still many unanswered questions in a fatal shooting in Marrero.
Right now, we do not know what the suspect was doing in the 500 block of Wilson Street or why someone called 911 in the first place. JD Career joins us live with exclusive video from a neighbor that may shed some light on what happened. JD?
Karen and Charisse, look, since we've been back out here, it's been sort of seemingly quiet around here. As the neighbors say, it is most of the time during the day. We've seen people walking their children home, people walking their dogs even. But apparently at night, a lot of activity happens, and it happens right here in the 500 block of Wilson. This is what appears to be the moment Jefferson Parish deputies opened fire, killing Daniel Valley early Wednesday morning. According to JPSO, deputies were speaking to Valley, trying to get him to cooperate. 13 minutes later, the car starts up and deputies open fire. Eyewitness News obtained video of the shooting. The details of what led to it remain a mystery. The time code on the video is 1 hour ahead of real time. The video shows a white SUV park on Wilson Street in Marrero at 1:50 a.m. 7 minutes later, you can see the SUV still in front of the home, and you can see there's now someone else at the car speaking with Valley. Here are also other people in the street as well. According to police, deputies were dispatched at 2:15 a.m. for a complaint at 532 Wilson Street. Several police units arrived minutes later. Deputies then approach and begin speaking with Valley. Deputies are still there speaking with him 13 minutes later. It's unclear what happens next. The sheriff's office issued a short statement saying Valley escalated the situation by starting his engine. Deputies opened fire on the front of the SUV. You can see what appears to be bullets passing through and blowing out the back window. Deputies then rushed to the driver's door to pull Valley to the ground.
I heard the gunshots. It happened about 2-something in the morning. You know, by the time I got dressed and came out, you know, I seen what I seen. The white SUV over here, it had guy laying on the ground.
Valley was pronounced dead at the scene. John Porter says the community is mostly elderly. He also says he, along with many of the neighbors, have made complaints about 532 Wilson Street. Porter says he believes their continuous cry for help has fallen on the deaf ears of the Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office, mainly Sheriff Joe Lapinto.
I talked to one of his officers this morning. I said, man, I tell you, it took this for to get this many police out here to patrol to see what, you know, somebody had to get killed, you know. And he said, man, look, he said, you're going to have to talk to Joe Lapinto. And I said, well, that's been done already.
And Joe Lapinto is the police chief. So we're going to hear from him in a minute as well.
Katie and Karen, one of the things that many of the neighbors told me, and they all expressed the exact same sentiment, had Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office heeded the warnings of the neighbors, maybe the incident that happened Wednesday morning would have never happened. Live in Marrero, JD Career, Eyewitness News.
So, you notice the tone is so somber. You just don't know what happened. Oh man, okay, well, yeah, let us gather them facts. You know, let's make sure we have all of our ducks in a row. I mean, but what are we really looking at here? We're seeing two black officers who killed a white person who has a lengthy rap sheet. But, you know, they somehow were able to, in a matter of about 36 hours, come up with charges to arrest and fire. So, unlike most people who get the opportunity to retire and keep their pension, or what would be accumulated of it, well, in this case, they said, no, we're not going to do none of the such. And matter of fact, we're going to cut the faucet off right now. And that's going to be that. So that's how they did these brothers. And typically, see, like, prime example, there's a shooting that happens with some random white dude and a random white woman at a protest she was actually there for street safety and de-escalation. You go shoot and kill her. So that means these people are ramping up and they're definitely looking at soft targets. Ladies, keep your Second Amendment game tight and right at this stage in the game, because there's these numbskulls out here who will look at that and say, oh, well, that's a soft target. Let me see if I can go rustle up a problem and make you an excuse. You dig? So, yeah, we got some nuts out here, and that's what this dude did. So he didn't go to where all the men were in this protest. He went to the old white women and was like, what are you guys doing out there? You need to blah, blah, blah. So he just wanted to deal with the liberals. Now, here's another thing that I'm kind of interested about how they're avoiding. Because this woman was also LGBTQ. And the other women that she was with and the other people that they were with were also LGBTQ. Why is this not even remotely coming into play neither? But instead, this liberal democratic town sought to hide this. I'm talking about Portland, Now, let me go ahead and play New Orleans. Let me know if you seem to know any difference. I mean, you type it in the chat.
Office. Unfortunately, I'm here to announce the arrest of two of our officers tonight. We're arresting Isaac Hughes and Jonathan Lewis, two of our members that were involved in the deputy-involved shooting from last week. I want to give you some of the scenario of what occurred last week. Around 2:15 a.m. on the 16th, our officers were dispatched to the 500 block of Wilson Street in Marrero. Upon their arrival, they were encountering a gentleman in front of a known crack house. They were there for the sole reason to really investigate a noise complaint from the next door neighbor. Unfortunately, this neighbor has been threatened by this group of individuals in a crack house for years to come, and she was being disturbed at that point in time. Mr. Daniel Valley was in a vehicle in front of that location. Mr. Valley was in a vehicle that had a switch plate. Unbeknownst to my officers at that time, was also wanted for questioning in reference to some thefts out of Plaquemines Parish and also in reference to an overdose investigation out of Gretna. He refused to cooperate with our officers, refused to cooperate with them for over 12 minutes. Our deputies on the scene, which included 5 total officers, were on scene. Not only did they ask him to get out of the vehicle so they could investigate the crimes that were there, plus the additional crimes that were happening or that he was investigating for, they asked him, they begged him, they threatened him, trying to get him to come out. He refused to cooperate during that period of time. The vehicle was running at one point in time, which he actually turned the vehicle off and locked the vehicle doors. Kept putting his hands up but would not cooperate and would not come outside the vehicle. After this going on for almost 12 minutes or so, Mr. Valley decided to start the vehicle back up. That, of course, escalated the situation. Numerous of my deputies drew their weapons at that point in time, expecting them to try to take off. They begged for him to turn the vehicle off, to not put the vehicle in drive, to not put them in the situation. I can tell you, I believe without a doubt, they believed he was going to drive off at that point in time. Had one officer that was positioned directly in front of the vehicle, and another one that was positioned just off to the side in front of the vehicle also. At one point in time, Mr. Valley drops his hands. When he drops his hands, he actually hits the horn on the vehicle. In my opinion, that horn, whether it scares my deputy or whether my deputy reacts to the shot of the horn, ends up firing his weapon. That in turn, the second deputy fired his weapons, reacting to that gunfire. I had both those deputies fired those gunshots in reaction to that. They both cooperated. We interviewed the non-shooters the day after that interview, waited for the autopsy to be conducted the following day, and then interviewed the other shooters on Thursday. We've gone back and forth through that. I can tell you their perception was that their life was in danger at that point in time. Unfortunately, the use of force in this situation was not justified. As much as I would love to be able to defend them, I don't believe there was any criminal intent at this point in time. We've had numerous discussions with our office, with our investigators, in order to try to figure out what is the appropriate charge. Let's face it, there's 4 things that could have happened today. Could have been a second-degree murder, a manslaughter, a negligent homicide, or a justified homicide. And we...
I'm about to rewind something real quick. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did I hear he just said he talked to the other shooters? Is that what I just heard him say? I could have sworn he just said he talked to the other shooters. So wait, these aren't the only shooters involved in this incident. They're just the only ones charged. Okay. All right. Good Lord. Let's see. Jesus.
Was not justified. As much as I would love to be able to defend them, I don't believe there was any criminal intent at this point in time. We've had numerous discussions with our office, with our investigators, in order to try to figure out what is the appropriate charge. Let's face it, there's four things that could have happened today. Could have been a second-degree murder, a manslaughter, a negligent homicide, or a justified homicide. The horn ends up firing his weapon. That in turn, the second deputy fired his weapons, reacting to that gunfire. I had both of those deputies fired those gunshots in reaction to that. They both cooperated. We interviewed the non-shooters the day after that interview, waited for the autopsy to be conducted the following day, and then interviewed the other shooters on Thursday. We've gone back and forth through that. I can tell you their perception.
Okay. Damn right, grand evening. So we did hear that right. We heard it right.
Was that their life was in danger at that point in time. Unfortunately, the use of force in this situation was not justified. As much as I would love to be able to defend them, I don't believe there was any criminal intent at this point in time. We've had numerous discussions with our office, with our investigators, in order to try to figure out what is the appropriate charge. Let's face it, there's four things that could have happened today. Could have been a second-degree murder, a manslaughter, a negligent homicide, or a justified homicide. And we weighed them all out. And to be honest with you, I can make arguments for all four. Our investigators really looked at the evidence that existed. None of them lied in their investigation. They came in, told the truth. The body cam video actually backed up what their statements were. It wasn't a situation where it was a gotcha moment. They came in and said what happened. Unfortunately, we just can't utilize the actions that they did and justify the use of deadly force. I think force was certainly justified. And unfortunately, this gentleman, Daniel Valley, put them in a huge, highly stressful situation where bad things can happen. And that's what happened in this case. We presented a manslaughter warrant to the commissioner tonight for both of our officers, which was signed earlier today. Both of the officers turned themselves in to the Investigation Bureau and are being booked accordingly in the Jefferson Parish Correctional Center. They'll obviously have to defend the charge, and truthfully, as their defense, there is a defense here. We just believe that the level of force that was used justified the probable cause that existed in this case, and our detectives really did a good job of delving into those facts and making it happen. With that, y'all, I'll take any questions that you have. It's gonna be in a release that we'll give to you in a minute, but it's Jonathan Lewis and Isaac Hughes.
Have y'all determined at all whether Valley was armed or had any?
No, Valley was not armed, and that was never the testimony. I mean, he was obviously armed with the vehicle, but the vehicle never made it to drive. I think the dropping of his hands where they couldn't see it, in connection with blowing the horn at someone that was standing 5 feet in front of you at the time, caused the reaction that occurred. But being armed was never I mean, obviously it was a potential threat, but it was never a threat that was observed. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sure my investigators know that answer, but I don't. I mean, each one of them shot multiple times. I'm disappointed. I mean, disappointed on both sides, right? I mean, the fact of it is, being a former policeman, I know that they have a very tough job to do. This was certainly not intentional. It's not a criminal act, and I think that's why second-degree murder certainly wasn't the case. Mr. Valley had every opportunity to comply, to cooperate. He's been in and out of jail. The system, is not perfect by any means. The force, was something that was, there was force that was certainly justified at this moment, but it wasn't deadly force. And it's something that, it's never fun to put one of my deputies in jail. I've had to do it before, and I probably will have to do it again. But that the remorse exists, right? And it's whether or not probable cause exists. In this case, we felt the probable cause did exist. It's never something that I want to do. It's certainly not what I want to do at 9 o'clock at night here in front of the Investigation Bureau. As I said said before, you know, they've worked very hard over the past week and over the weekend to make sure we get this right. And, you know, I'm proud of my detectives for doing the work that we do. And look, Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office does a lot of good work out there. They're out there trying to make us safe every single day. This is an extremely unfortunate situation for all of them, you know, for the wife and kids of my deputies, and certainly the Valley family that lost a loved one also. It doesn't take that pain away, no matter what it is. I think this fault that you can blame everybody.
Did y'all see what Denise said? So they didn't scrub their names or scrub their social medias yet. Raggedy. And see, family, they really enjoy doing us like this, you know. And we know what time it is. Like when we saw Muhammad Noor, we knew exactly what time it is. But have you ever heard like police captain or the sheriff's deputy just willfully throw his cops under the bus like this? I can't say I've ever seen that. Man, this is madness. And with stuff like this, we have Kyle Rittenhouse who joined the force. Now, with this being said, what happened to the blue wall and back to blue and all of this? Within 36 hours, they had these cats mugshotted up. I mean, no time. Their names is out there. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. Oh, that's filthy. So anybody that is talking about, well, man, you know, I can't vouch for what I'm seeing right here. One of my biggest problems about this story, number one, it was a story early. So when I first broke this one, like I think I was the first one to post this. I think, no, maybe not. But one of the first people to post this, because I seen the story, so I went into Twitter, and that's how I seen, because I was looking for the video, because I seen the headline like in my phone. I'm like, wait, what is going on? 2 officers like arrested. Open it up. What do I see? Like, oh, okay. That makes total sense. When I hear 2 cops arrested after a fatal shooting, it's like, oh, huh? Let me see, what's this about? Because, I mean, there's really nothing too egregious. I mean, this is comparable to Derek Chauvin. I'm just saying. Whoo-wee. Lordy me. You know, sometimes that big rat, even a broken clock is right twice a day.
But we still have to be responsible for our actions. It's a criminal investigation. No, I mean, it will be released, certainly, right? I mean, you know, with any type of criminal investigation, once the criminal investigation is complete, whether that's, you know, turned over to the defense in this case, I mean, it will be part of our investigation. And once that criminal investigation is over, it certainly will be released, but not at this time. I mean, I wouldn't do that for any criminal investigation.
Body cams are a recent addition here. How much did they play a role in this determination?
You know, I mean, you know, I knew that this is our first shooting with a body camera, but it's not our first shooting on cameras, right? I mean, you know, we've had cameras, you know, videotape our shootings pretty often. You know, one being in the Times-Picayune warehouse years ago, right? And so, you know, that's not something that's unusual in today's environment. What I thought was appropriate is the body cameras backed up the statements of the deputies. I mean, you know, it wasn't a situation where the body.
So you mean to tell me that the other deputies around him, didn't do like a Kim Powder and show up and say, turn your body cameras off? None of that protocol took place? Or let's see, how they all uniformly walk backwards after, what's the one brother? The brother that was killed in the street by, what's her name? Fisher, I think. Because she doesn't even have his murder or kill on her record anymore because they exonerated her. What is that woman's name? Is that also Minnesota? The brother was having car trouble, and they had the helicopter. And so, oh, that's a big bad one right there. And then they ended up shooting him, and he over here looking for help. They ended up killing him, and now they just recently letting out the police officer that shot that the healthcare worker or the mental health care worker that was out there helping this client in the middle of the street going through a mental crisis, and then the police shoots him. They're about to let that cop out. So, I mean, this is what we're seeing here within this system called white supremacy. See, I'm not finna narrow it down like a lot of people want me to do and say it's the left or it's the right. I don't talk like that because I know better than that. What this is the same as what you saw here. This is a Democratic ran city. You couldn't get no more liberal than Portland. And just look at how fast they went to go back up the white supremacists. Look how fast they went to go protect him. Look how fast they went to set the narrative about promotion of policing while making black folks the face of gun violence. If you haven't been paying attention to New York, I keep telling you that's exactly what's going on out there. And the reason why they're doing it, it's going to be a national push. Why? Because we have collectively now made our plight the national, international conversation. And this country is at war. We are literally in the midst of the tipping of the scales. All praise to the Most High. Because, see, we're asking for reparations. This is how you know people are feeling pressure, because now the muddying of the water is coming in. And also, we have this right here. We have people who will come in and see, these brothers thought that they were going to be accepted as blue. We were all blue brothers. They showed them they were black real quick. Now, I've seen police go through way much more turmoil and not shooting anyone. This dude is still causing a situation. They felt threatened, and then they, after over 10 minutes of interacting with somebody to whom is in the actual process of resisting. Are we missing that? So we have a crackhead criminal who has been in front of a crack house all night. What about that would have them thinking that that person is thinking rational at 2:30 in the morning? So wouldn't that also put them on? I mean, we talk all this time. It's a split second, right? How did that not apply to these brothers here? See, so there'll be some people who'll be like, man, you got to understand, man, that, the system, yeah, man, the system's flawed. But, I mean, man, if you ain't doing nothing wrong, man, these is whole police officers right here. But, there's some people in here, that will believe, this is on the up and up. It is not. Because that's why I wanted to play the first video. You seen that car move. It's like, if for all intents and purposes, especially here in my city, oh, that would have got your ass lit up. All that back and forth stuff that they was doing, oh, please. It would have lit your ass up. Mm-mm. No, that would have been enough for justifiable over here. Like, you doing all that back and forth in your car. Man, they shot a woman who wasn't nothing but 5 foot 97 pounds. Talking about, oh, she was going to run us over. She turned the car on. Blah, 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 blah. She didn't hit nobody. Tore up. That's Kendra James. Killed that girl. You know, she's a young lady with a drug problem. And the police, you know, they downed her, man. They downed that sister. She was with her boyfriend. I guess they were arresting him. So she jumped over in the driver's seat like she was going to take off, and they just lit her up. So when I see something like this, and these people are literally going to jail, because of course that was justifiable. But here's a dude with a rap sheet as long as DMX's. And yeah, they're booked. They're booked. They're booked on the death of a well-known criminal. And then in my city, our mayor is sitting up here, literally, in him and his police force, going out of their way to cover for a damn vigilante which is now a murderer, and also a maimer because they have paralyzed somebody else. So now this goofball here, and funny enough, he of course doesn't kill himself. And so if nothing else comes about the good news of this thumbnail right here, well, justice is finally in the books on the Bryants. Guilty, guilty, guilty. Or McMichaels and Bryant, rather. And so they all are guilty, which pretty much the only innocent people on this thumbnail are them two black men, because they are being treated different than any other police shooting than I can say. And so just by that standard alone, I don't even see how they were charged. You know, and truth be told, they had to drop the charges on the other people that shot that dude in the hip. So see how fast they can put charges on people when they want to. Makes you think about that Jackie Johnson down there in Brunswick, Georgia. That woman needs to go do some time. You had a whole dead Ahmaud Arbery. And now the proof is in the pudding. Yeah. So somebody who was protecting these individuals in a capacity of a law official or an elected official needs to be doing some time. Same with the mayor that would do the same sort of thing, seeing that that mayor is also the police commissioner. So when misinformation comes from the police force, you just can't blame old Lackey Blackie. No, because the buck stops with the boss. And the mayor is the boss. Yeah, we don't need the Lackey Blackie and put him in our face and be like, well, see, you got this black police chief who can't do nothing but tell Negroes how to keep it calm. Well, we ain't on that. So let me play a little more of this, but you pretty much get the gist of it.
camera showed something different than the perceptions that existed. It's just whether that perception was accurate, you know. So, I mean, that's what it comes down to. So, I mean, it's always nice to have the body camera. I mean, but, you know, in this case, it obviously is a little bit different, but I don't think it's that big of a difference. We certainly had cameras from the next door neighbor's house, and you know, the facts backed up what was being said. So, I mean, it's nice to have them by all means, and will certainly be part of the evidence.
Does this become a teachable moment for the rest of the deputies?
You know, I hope so. I hope so. I mean, look, tactics can always be better. You know, that's something that, you know, I wish, you know, look, you can always second guess it. You can always hindsight it. You can always sit there and say you should have, would have, could have, and been in a better position, a better place, or made different options. But those things happen quickly out there sometimes, and this is one of those cases that it happened quickly sometimes, you know.
Sheriff, you mentioned that.
Okay. Now I'll cut it off right there because we've heard enough. And so now you see how they stay on code, but they will quickly get on code against us. You see how fast that worked? I mean, they immediately got on code against us, which is, you know, these cops, they learned a lesson. This is the Negro wake up call police edition. For real. Negro wake up call police edition. But nonetheless, not to be confused with these type of individuals. None whatsoever. Now, what I want y'all to understand, none of this happened. This right here, this little guilty. Guess what did not make that happen? Voting. And most importantly, voting for Democrats. That did not make this happen. Being black, staying black, and pushing a black collective agenda, making sure that the energy was behind a movement of justice. That is how this pressure was applied, and that's how this was done. Now, from just what you see in Ahmaud Arbery's mother, you see a certain issue presser within herself. Like, so, you know, I have nothing but respect for what I've seen from her. I definitely, I'm glad that we didn't hear a bunch of forgiveness talk. I'm glad that when she did her press conference that she put that phony baloney, like I said, the lackey blackie, the DOJ, which again is the Democratic DOJ. So when people come over here and talk about, man, we just got to vote Democrat anyway, man. Man, we got to vote Democrats, man. I'm just saying, man. I mean, man, it's better than Trump. First off, we don't even know if Trump is running. One thing we do know, Joe Biden ain't doing nothing for us now, and he ain't it. He doing stuff against us. And then we get a victory from the soil. And then he sends his little old Negro minions over there to start taking victory laps. Talking about, yeah, we did it. No, you did not. No, you did not. Hashtag no tangibles, no vote. And if you cannot understand that, this cereal is for you. So, in this week's other news, further exposing the hypocrisy within this system, especially the slant in the media. Because remember, the media is a tool of war of white supremacy. It is one of the. It serves as maybe a smorgasbord of information that they want to make sure you ingest. So, I mean, they're marketing to you what to eat. They're marketing to you what to drink. They're marketing to you even sometimes how to think. If you have too much TikTok on you, you might be always inclined to participate in a challenge that you might not ought to. So when you see potential to throw a black man under the bus, sometimes people can get a little eager and jump the gun. But even still, because white supremacy is based on deception, they will lie to justify wrong. Just ask Jawan Howard.
I think that was very uncalled for him to touch me as we were verbalizing and communicating with one another. So that's what ended up happening. That's what escalated it.
If you could, I guess, expand on that a little more. What
No,
led
I would
to?
not expand on it. I just share with you the story. What happened?
Well, as far as touching, I mean, there's obvious touching with the handshake line. It must have been more than that, is what you're saying.
More than that. Yeah. Touching me unnecessary with it wasn't cause for that when we were talking. And at that point, I thought that was time to protect myself. Big Ten takes pride in sportsmanship. The Big Ten takes pride in acting with class. And that didn't happen today. And it's difficult for me to compose myself in the defense of our staff and our team, who did not instigate this event. Who did not instigate this event. Who did not instigate this event.
Like I just said, based on deception. Even if you see it, they're going to say, oh no, that ain't what you saw. Yeah, buddy.
That didn't happen today. And it's difficult for me to compose myself in the defense of our staff and our team, who did not instigate this event. Who did not instigate this event. Who did not instigate this event. Who did not instigate this event.
Wow. Who did not instigate this fight? You see him grabbing on the man. Thought he was just, oh, well, no. So watch this. This is pitiful. And see, one of the main reasons why we, especially looking at FBA, is because there's a certain something in us, especially out here. Because a lot of us out west, we're out west by way of the South. So majority of us out here have generation. We're not too far away from the plantation as far as we go out here. I know people come here from other places and think that it was so long ago. How long can it be when grandmothers are living 100? I got people in my family over 100 years old. What do you think the generation was before them? On a plantation. That's 2. You understand? So within my lifetime, yeah, there were people who were not too far away removed from a damn plantation. And then you talking about for my generation growing up when I was young, that would have been a lot of the sharecroppers in Reconstruction. So all of this stuff that people come here and be talking us crazy about, like we are uneducated, like our education starts at civil rights. That's ridiculous. No, that's what they taught you when you came here. That's, again, letting you know the difference between our culture that has been passed down, especially even orally. We do have an oral history tradition in some families here in America, contrary to popular belief. And unfortunately, there has been a lot of family secrets in this family in America as well. So I've seen both. That's why I say if you have not lived long enough to learn some of your family secrets that you would have never known, mind-blowing, then you are too young to argue with me. or inexperienced. But nonetheless, these check this out. ESPN, which of course is an affiliate of ABC, owned by ABC, so this is a Disney brand. Um, but they always toe the line, because in sports you're always covering black athletes majority of the time. So making sure that you cover it in a positive light without ever making black people get the idea of not knowing their place.
Especially when you look at both sides. No one backing down, even the post-game news conference. Starting with Juwan Howard, what should be the punishment?
Yeah, I felt he should be suspended for the remainder of the season. Your head coach is really the face and the standard bearer of excellence for your program. And he's supposed to set the example for the rest of his kids, right? Now, granted, Greg Gard did grab his arm coming through. Now, granted, Greg Gard did grab his arm coming through. Now, granted, Greg Gard did grab his arm coming through. In a situation like that, I thought he should have just let him walk past.
How do you guys view this, though, specifically? Juwan Howard's one thing. Greg Gard, should he face a suspension?
I thought because of his influence on that, he should have a one-game suspension. And I don't think he should. I think he should be reprimanded. But I don't think there was anything overly malicious in what Greg Gard did.
Okay.
All right? I do think that Juwan could have handled it better. They both should, both. Seriously,
Now, did y'all see that white man get on code? Why we?
Man, check that out. Check that out.
Now, granted, Greg Gard did grab his arm coming through. In a situation like that, I thought he should have just let him walk past.
How do you guys view this, though, specifically? Juwan Howard's one thing. Greg Gard, should he face a suspension?
I thought because of his influence on that, he should have a one-game suspension. And I don't think he should. I think he should be reprimanded. I don't think there was anything overly malicious in what Greg Gard did.
Okay.
All right? I do think that Juwan could have handled it better. They both should, both. Seriously,
Now, did y'all see that white man get on code? Why we?
With the quickness. With the quickness. So much so, this can happen. You can be a whole police officer, but them folks jump on code real quick. And this is what people get when you start entertaining and eating certain things. And you can't do that now. You can't eat the Crunchy Coon cereal. One bite and you will sell your own mama. Lord. Crunchy Cool cereal. That is too damn funny. That is too damn funny. Lord. Let's see. So what else did I have for y'all? Oh. That's what I wanted to play. So y'all know that the conversation of made with real chocolate. Oh, y'all know the conversation for reparations has definitely increased as of late. Oh, Lord. Let me see something. Just 1 second. All right. So this is a California state conversation, like Zoom meeting. And I guess these are starting to happen in different places because, people have been getting in on the Congressional Black Caucus's tops. Rightfully so. Right, rightfully so, because these people haven't been doing anything for us. I seen something. I think it was off the African Diaspora channel. There was they wrote like one of these ladies wrote like this love letter. I'm bigging up the Congressional Black Caucus. They ain't did nothing for black folk. You cannot give props to people who haven't done anything for us. We're the conscience of the. No, you're not. To have a conscience means that you have a conscience is demonstrated through action. And the conscience of our so-called Congressional Black Caucus is about doing something for any other group other than black people. And where we are with it right now, we done with that. That whole Boule Greek, I have to honor my oath before I honor this black code first. That ain't gonna fly no more. That just simply ain't gonna fly no more. And you damn sure can't be in position of trying to stop other people from getting it. No more. No mas. So this happened today, and Tariq Nasheed happened to call in and give a good talking to these people. And just watch their faces, because it's always amazing when a person gets a chance to get into that space from this space, and then they just don't know what to do because it's too real and too on point. So it's always hard to like BS with. You understand? So they pretty much is gonna have to let him roll. Watch the looks on their faces though.
Tariq Nasheed, you've been unmuted. You now have 3 minutes.
Greetings. How's everybody doing? Can you hear me clearly?
Yes. We can.
Okay. I appreciate everyone for talking about the reparations qualifications. We have to make this very simple. Reparations are exclusively for foundational Black Americans who were enslaved here in America. The reparations claim should go directly to people who are owed the 40 acres and a mule and their descendants. We have to stop muddying the waters when it comes to such a very important claim like this. We should not open the doors to giving reparations to everybody based on mistreatment, as one caller said earlier, because that will muddy the waters and we'll be right.
Look at their faces. Look at the dude in the middle, because and the other dude was a Dr. What was it, Cheryl Grills. Yeah, they don't know what to really do, because oh man, we trying to work everybody off in this conversation. And Tariq, she just came in here and put a stop to that.
Back to square one. Foundational Black Americans exclusively should get reparations. It should be in the form of cash payments, and it's not that difficult to find out who is a foundational Black American and who's qualified. If your lineage can be traced back to the 1870 census and your name is Negro on that census, you are a foundational Black American.
Look at the Asian dude. He can't even look at the damn screen. Oh, their faces are priceless. And Joe Van is just like, oh man, what am I gonna do, man? I mean, like, I was gonna really be able to sell this stick that the Democrats pay me. I mean, that I believe in, and I was gonna be able to sell this stick to all of my people in California, man. I'm really down for the cause. I mean, Democrats. I mean, cause Hillary Clinton. I don't know. Ooh, Lord.
And as our brother Sandy Darity said, people now who qualify must be classified as Black for at least 10 years. So we don't have a whole bunch of $5 FBAs popping up claiming to be descendants of slaves and foundational Black Americans.
Look at you. That got his attention. That got old Joe Van's attention, didn't it? $5 FBA. So now he's going to be, watch, family, take my word for it. That dude right there in the middle, Joe Van, everything he's hearing Tariq say right now, you finna hear all the combating points in spaces this week. Trust me. Trust me. You understand me? And hey, what's with the $5? And if you hear some immigrant from Nigeria talking about $5 FBA and you say $5 FBA, then you know good and damn well it's some Democrat BS. Because that dude, Joe Van, he know good and damn well he's probably a foundational black American, maybe. He kind of looked Belizean, to be quite honest, but you know, he very well could be, but he seems a little shook for me. So maybe that is the fact of why he seems to be uneasy. And I guess the reason is because he knows, oh, wait, this conversation completely cuts me out the conversation.
We have to make this cash payments. Every other group is getting cash payments. The Democrats just allotted about $10 million to Asian groups a few days ago. They are allotting money to Afghan refugees. They're allotting money to Hispanic refugees. So all of these other groups are getting cash payments. There's no confusion. The confusion comes when it comes to us. All of a sudden, the waters are muddy. Somebody was in here talking about repatriation to Ghana. We cannot have that. This is not what this is about. Nobody needs to go to another country. We're
repatriation. I mean, just all over the damn place with the reparations conversation. Now, first off, have y'all noticed this? Reparations is about first what? Just getting us our money. Why is everybody turning into armchair accountants? Have y'all noticed this? So what are you going to do with your reparations? So, okay, you get 2 point something million, or you get this however million per person in your family. And so what do you plan on doing with it? Repatriate to a colony. Sorry. See, here's the thing. What on earth would us getting reparations? How does that tell anybody in their mind that, okay, we pay you for something and then now you have to leave after you've watched us pay everybody else enjoying what you built? People have got to be some kind of dumb. It doesn't make any sense. Why would you even let somebody suggest something like that to you? But that tells me that's a black person that got white people in his mouth. Maybe in a few ways.
not from Ghana. We are foundational Black Americans. This is a nation that foundational Black Americans built, and we need to be compensated for what we built because we have the legacy of anti-Black racism that has disenfranchised us economically.
Damn. Simple as that. Simple as that. So yeah, that was just a little taste of tidbit. And so I'm glad he did that too. Gave it to him straight up. Because that's how they need it. And people need to know how to start really addressing stuff. Because I noticed this a lot. How people are like so afraid to just address the truth. It makes no sense to me. I heard somebody in one of these spaces the other day talk about, they say, one way to combat racism, we got to stop talking about it. And what kind of sense that make? You got to stop talking about racism to combat it? You sound like a loon. No. You have to identify the dilemma to which we face as a people. We, as a people, face the dilemma of global white supremacy, which is nothing less than a global system of domination. Now, with that being said, when someone wants to dominate you, everything about preserving their position is what they have to fight for. Who would be in that position that would be so eagerly willing to give it up? And I think we have a lot of black folks that still are on the fence. I know we have a lot coming into these spaces that are getting this good information, but a lot of y'all are still kind of torn politically. Let me help you out. Voting is like currency. And where we are right now, we have to see what we're getting for our dollar. One of the things we're getting for our dollar is ignored. Absolute benign neglect. Another thing we're getting for our dollar. Politically and militarily targeting, using the law, politics, and policy. It's been that way from our inception in this country's existence. And as long as we've been at war with this people, going back to Europe. So, yeah, and that's a whole nother thing about history. Not everybody is ignorant to it. So we got a lot of people that come over here which is so funny. If you were educated in another country, your understanding of this country is extremely tailored. So but they have a way of making you think it's authentic. So don't get me wrong. I'm sure people come here believing all kinds of crap about us. Well, that's called damage control. Because see, when you really truly start interacting with the people that you have respect for, and you interact with them respectfully, then you get a chance to benefit from the things of that community. But if you come to that community with contempt, and you come to that community with this false sense of superiority when you're in a home that they built, then you're going to get the same kind of energy in return. I could tell people since I went out this country back in the 90s on again. Mid-90s at that. So, I ain't even 20 yet, I don't think. And ran into some Africans. They immediately let me know what time it was between the difference between how they saw us and how they saw them, how they saw the people in the islands. They don't see us all together. And the big trick of a lot of people in the islands, they don't see them people, they don't look at them as attached. And if you go to some areas, you'll understand how the class system works. They believe that works here with these old-fashioned backwood rednecks. They can't decipher an Afghan from an Iraqi. We had 9/11. Bin Laden, which also came out and denied he had any part of it initially, same as Saddam Hussein, both did. They both denied it. Then there were some conspiracy things floating around about the little hats from the stolen land over there, imposters. And so then when that truth, when that information started coming out, like false flag talk, then that's when they made Bin Laden the patsy. That's when Bin Laden became the suspect of 9/11. You did, allegedly. So when that happened, for all intents and purposes, we should have been going to war with Afghanistan. Told you I've worked for these people. I remember my best friend, who you see on my video, my intro. As I said, my brother called me early that morning, was like, "Hey, we getting bombed." I don't hear nothing. It was like, well, no, if we was really getting bombed, trust me, if America gets bombed, I could be on the West Coast, you would be on the East Coast. Bombs is going off simultaneously. So if this place actually gets invaded, trust me, it ain't going to be this is a wave. It ain't going to move like the sun. Oh, they're going to be strategic and be like, now, Order 66. Pew! Red Dawn. So, needless to say, my partner called me, was like, yeah, what's this going on? Like, yeah, he's like, is this some people you used to work for? Yeah. Is this the end? Nah, because they still haven't implemented the chip yet. This is the morning of September 11th I'm talking about. Is this it? No, because they haven't got the chip out yet. I wonder what chip I could have possibly been talking about so many years ago. Anybody know? About that smart mark. How about that smart mark? So, we dealing with situations like this. Y'all got to understand. These people work like this. So he's like, oh, everybody's, it's going to be Afghanistan. I told everybody, this marks the sign that we're going to war with Iraq. Everybody said, well, no, they said Osama bin Laden. Yeah, he's in Afghanistan. We going to war with Iraq. Because I got a partner that subsequently worked for the communications department of the armed forces, who just so happened to be assigned to the protection detail of the King of Kuwait. So, what's so funny too, if you are a soldier and you work for a royalty, and royalty says, hey, I'm going to give you this Rolls Royce and I'm going to give you this Lamborghini, $1 million Lamborghini. Army is like, okay, well, yeah, y'all can go take some pictures with it. Now we'll let y'all drive them things over here, but you ain't going to be flossing back in the States. We taking that. That's property of the United States government. So the generals that were over there for Desert Storm came up on some Rolls Royces and some Lamborghinis and Ferraris and a 911 convertible turbo. I seen the picture. I seen the picture with him, with all of them, with all the soldiers in the detail, sitting on their cars in between all of them, like they all had to park like a horseshoe. So I seen it. So understanding, we know how this thing was working. He knew then when he left Desert Storm, they were going back to war, because you know what they did? They hollowed out the bottom half of the buildings in Iraq, where they were in Kuwait, where they were at. and they took all the hardware out the tanks, but they left the tanks there so you could easily just reinstall all the brains into them, pointing directly at Baghdad. He said, there's rows of tanks facing Baghdad right now. We left them there. So they always knew they had full intention on going invading Iraq. So what they did was they used 9/11 as the smokescreen because the typical redneck white American does not understand the difference between an Afghan and an Iraqi. So there you have it. People was like, yeah, we're going to war. So you have a whole official move on Iraq while we've been under a terrorist attack from Al Qaeda. And America just bought it. America just bought it. Next, they chased it up with the airline bailout. And then just to make sure to double down, just to see if y'all was really juiced up and stupid enough to go for this one. Well, hey, man, the banks need a bailout. The federally insured money needs you to bail it out with your money. And they made that make sense to the world. That's now they can make mandatory masks and all of this other extra shit make sense. That clearly doesn't. They tell you all kind of numbers that don't represent. We are literally in the social media era. So we are so intertwined through social media. Is it really legitimately true, the numbers of dead that people have presented to you? Because by 6 or 7 degrees of separation, you should know at least a person that knows 100 people to have died from this based on what they're saying. I'm just throwing around ideas. But nonetheless, like I said, these people from other countries who unfortunately or don't like the name tethers, I got to say only a hit dog hollers on that. Because if you're not trying to be a tether, then you don't have any problem with it. See, being a tether is trying to sneak in and say, oh, yeah, I'm FBA. Yeah, y'all cutting them checks? Uh-huh. Yeah. My name is Michael. My name's Michael. Yeah. I'm just saying. You understand? Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. Can you imagine? So we're going to get to this place to where, and it's going to happen pretty soon. We are going to be, we're going to be dealing with a lot, family, because the world is damn near imploding on itself. We have a military operation going on over here. And I had somebody literally post, and like that's why I had to say, I made a tweet saying how all of our the people who have been pro-black are now all of a sudden starting to come out like, we just need to vote for Democrat. Because I'm already seeing it happen. People who sit out here, they like super black, yeah, B1, B1, B1. All of a sudden, here within, I would say, just the last 5 days, those very same people are, this is what caught me, and I knew this bullshit was on. There's a video of an airstrike on Ukraine. The caption is, only Trump it's Trump's fault for boosting Putin's ego enough to attack another country. I'm sorry. There are some people that I got to say, if you are under 30 at this point, you need to be completely out of the politics conversation unless you have done your homework. Because there's some of us who, I mean, like, I voted for Bill Clinton. You did. So, I mean, there's some people who wasn't even thought of at the time when I cast that ballot. You did? But this is who's coming out telling us, man, we need to vote for Joe Biden, man. Don't you know he was around then, man? And this three strikes law, I don't know what the hell these people who be talking about, I guess, the effects of three strikes and the damage that it has caused. So many people are back home now in a lot of places, and still people are gone based on them draconian ass laws. And we have some youngsters who do not understand that. All they think is the Democrats are so liberal. I mean, I'm hearing, I'm thinking the Democrats are doing this on purpose because I do not believe our people are that damn dumb. So they're hiring these. I think they're hiring people who are like if you could pick out a person who's always contrary and wrong, it's almost like that's what they're sending our way. So just be mindful of it, because you're going to start seeing these people come into your mix as you're coming on your platforms, as you're on your social media. These people are going to start coming out the woodworks talking about, well, man, so it's going to be that leaning towards Trump line again. And for all intents and purposes, Trump hasn't even said he was running yet. Yeah, it's likely. But again, he has to win his candidateship. So that's not a shoo-in. But then again, what are you looking at with him coming through it next time? You had Mike Pence the first time. But you know absolutely who Ron DeSantis is. Now, as a Democrat, Democrats are so anti-black that they don't value the black vote enough to get tangibles to black Americans, foundational black Americans. They still are trying to get out here in this slow playing conversation about having discussions. We have had our discussions. It's not hard. Cut the check. Now, here's the thing. What happens when, I heard somebody mention today, I think it was Phil Scott, that we do as a people need to start, number one, we need to hold our leaders accountable. But see, here's a large thing that I'm noticing. If we sue these other groups for getting money, these other groups have made allyship with our leaders. So this is why we'll never have anybody coming out presenting a lawsuit saying, hey, we need to stop this law from just going to this people. This needs to go to everybody because the people in our way are stopping that. That is exactly why the Congressional Black Caucus must go. It started in 1972, May. It died in 2022. Something new must be birthed because it's not working. 50 years is long enough. 50 years and you're not showing nothing but everything. 50 years and instead of worrying about progress for 100 years, you're already deviating from your agenda of black people. No. Because see, we never went away. So our needs and our agenda doesn't ever cease. Just like these other groups. If they let that happen, if these other groups got a one-time provision, then what happens to them? They'll fall back into the wayside And that's how they keep trying to do us. So we need to start educating and heightening our understanding of what we're actually looking to be, looking to get, and looking to have and keep. Also, learning what we need to keep away. All skin folk ain't kinfolk. Bottom line. And I know it's hard for a lot of people to accept, but it's really not our job to convince anybody not to be a tap dancing samba. It ain't. Because at the end of the day, either you want to see your people liberated or you want to see your people continue to stay oppressed. Here's one thing that we get caught up in is identifying with people who absolutely do not identify with us. That is where we have a problem. That will put us in positions to be targets for the Roman McCrae followers. Because the Kyle Rittenhouse effect, we're just now starting to see the tip of the iceberg. These people are buying into a philosophy, which in all actuality, it's not necessarily a philosophy. It's a reality of declining birth rates. When our birth rates are just fine, I know there was some slow lead paint chip eater kid on one of these spaces the other day who actually made the dumb comment that because white people are losing numbers, somehow the rest of the planet are losing numbers. It's like, no, that's nature weeding one group out. Because we're not stopping it. And the power, this is what's so crazy. How is it that the so-called dominant society is not dominant in the gene pool? The Kyle Rittenhouse effect. That's what it is, family. It's the Kyle Rittenhouse effect. And it has hit Portland. So what happened? We have a local official and the police on board with the shooter to defend him. Yeah, he's just a homeowner defending his property. Come to find out he don't own nothing. Imagine that. Why would the police lie or embellish? Well, no, that's a lie. Because he's just flat out not a homeowner. And he was not defending any of his property by being across the street at the park. So if he's at the park, you also know that he's not defending any property. So, yeah, I guess I can't call it that. No, that's a lie. That's just a flat out lie. So our local officials, our local elected Democratic government officials are literally protecting the identity of suspected white supremacist mass shooters. Not only that, going out of the way. See, I'm telling you, if this would have been a black victim, so because it's a white victim and it's a white woman victim who is actually disabled, a disabled lesbian, you hit like the it's not even a trifecta. This is you hit the home run. That's 4 bases all totals. You did? Because I mean, good grief. She's LGBTQ. She's handicapped. She's white. She's a white woman. And she's elderly. So he killed a whole white woman, handicapped senior citizen who had a wife and was on a K. And they sitting up here talking, trying to talk about him as if we're not sure who's the victim. Yeah, you are. But that's what Portland is. And that's what a lot of this law is. So now we have a different DA. We had a DA before that was on board with that. And for me, it's like, well, maybe his stuff needs to be reevaluated and looked back through, because clearly there's been a disparity going on in this department. Because see, we often stop at police. It's not just police, it's the entire system. And so we're dealing with the police, we're dealing with the DAs, and we're dealing with the judges. That's a multi-tier system. If you had to use a public pretender, then you basically have a DA that's supposed to be working for you that's really working for the prosecutor. You know, so if you can get a lawyer, because you can never trust a public defender. If you can, they will prove that you can trust them. But as far as I go, I wouldn't trust them as far as I could throw them. And some of these people you pay for as lawyers ain't worth a damn. So you have to, be careful. You see? But yeah, I mean, I think this is pretty much what I wanted to get out tonight. So this is not going to be an overly long broadcast. No, not at all. This is under 3 hours. So let me see what y'all talk about in this chat. I had to put my glasses on. So let me see what y'all saying up here in this chat. He said, a disabled white female lesbian. Would you look at that? Absolutely, Dan Rupp. I mean, yeah, they if you watch this, what they're doing, this is crazy. Matter of fact, I'm gonna play this one more time because I just want to play what this guy has a very accurate depiction of what the information that I have gotten, and then the reality of the information that's coming out now. There was something else, but I don't even know if I need to play that. I might play that on that later broadcast. Just some old history stuff. Just it's always good to look back. Actually, you know what? Hell, I think I will play that.
And now an update on the Portland mass shooting story. Cops there have finally filed murder charges against Benjamin Smith, who allegedly confronted protesters at a peaceful Black Lives Matter march and opened fire on them, killing one and injuring 4 others, including paralyzing someone. Now, police initially claimed that Smith was just a local homeowner who clashed with other armed protesters. In reality, though, it was an ambush by a far-right reactionary. And only after it started did an armed member of the protest return fire, critically wounding Smith and ending the shooting. Protester was initially charged with 2 felonies. Both have since been dropped after the district attorney's office determined that the retaliatory shooting was done in self-defense. Providing the most insight into Smith's motives was his roommate, who told reporters that Smith was often angry and ranted against liberals and mask mandates, and even talked about wanting to shoot commies and Antifa, quote, all the friggin' time. Smith was also allegedly involved in a local furry meetup before he was kicked out for his alt-right beliefs and violent tendencies. He faces 1 count of second-degree murder, 4 counts of attempted first-degree murder with a firearm, and 4 counts of assault with a firearm.
And it always seems to be a certain type, like this.
Very disturbing to me, like the Black history, and then the LGBT stuff. It's really disturbing to me. Like, why don't they have like White History Month and like why don't they celebrate Straight Pride? You know?
Really.
Why aren't they more inclusive?
The answers for you. I'm sorry.
I feel discriminated against. You know?
I'm sorry.
Is there like how can I complain to corporate about this?
I can get you a phone number, but I can't do anything like at the store.
Okay, thank you. It's disturbing, man. Where's White History Month and Straight Pride?
It's disturbing, man. Scooter the shooter, dude. It's disturbing, man. Why do I have to see all this black stuff on a day like, today, man? It's just like, it's too much. I don't know why it has to be so black at all, man. Scooter the shooter here, dude. Why does everything have to be so black? I just don't know why. But it's black. I can't stand all this blackness. Jesus. Oh, Lord. Okay, there is something else I got to show y'all. Where is that? Where is that joker? Let's see. There is something missing here. Let me see. Okay, that's what's missing. Okay, family. I gotta upload this joint. I thought I had it up here already. I don't know why I didn't. You know what happened? Because I gotta show this before we go. Oh, and the other one I gotta show real quick. He could celebrate his whiteness on 4th of July. Ain't that the truth? Let's see, where is that? Where are we at? I don't want to see this. I got this video in here somewhere. There we go. And something right after Ben Crump, made his big to-do and got in there good and got his 3 federal victories. This dude turned around and endorsed this Kenji woman for, now, again, like I said, if Mitch McConnell and Shark Eyes are over there promoting somebody, you need to be worried. But you also need to be worried about people who talk like this.
Interrupt you, but my chairman's very strict on me, and I do want to get to ask the judge one question in my 35 seconds, and I'm sorry to interrupt you. Judge, you've been on the bench, and you've seen the federal judicial system up close, and I agree with you, America's a remarkable country. Do you think the federal judicial system is systemically racist?
Senator, thank you for that question. I am aware of social science research.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
I'm aware of social science research,
Yes, ma'am.
in particular in my former area of expertise, which is in sentencing, that relates to ways in which policy choices about various aspects of the system can have demographic disparate effects. The most obvious one is one that this body has worked on very hard and much appreciated, the 100-to-1 crack powder disparity. As a judge, I'm not looking at systemic effects. I'm not thinking about or focusing on or forming opinions about the research or the circumstances in the abstract like that. I am looking at each case. A person might make a claim that they've been discriminated against in a particular context, and I am applying the law to determine whether or not the law sustains that claim. So I don't really have a frame of reference to answer a question about systemic racism, but I am happy that you are thinking about those things because they're in the province of the policymakers like yourself.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
If sidestepping was a person, let me see, where is this video? I'm trying to get in here, and for some reason, you know what? This is crazy. I got one more video to show y'all, and it's the one video that ain't uploaded. It's like I knew I was missing something. It's like, where is this video? What is going on here? I can't stand when this happens. And I just like literally marked this thing too. So it's supposed to be marked. But I guess that's neither here nor there because marking clearly doesn't matter either. When I need it, it won't be there. Ain't there something? Okay, well, I guess this just ain't gonna happen now. This is crazy. Oh, Lord. Let me see what I can do here. What is this? Let's see. You know what? Let me do it like this. Because this don't make no sense. And of course it won't. Okay. I'm having all kind of hell trying to get this damn video up here. Delete, please. Let's see. Let me try this. Travel no time. I do not know what's going on here. This is crazy. Let me see. You know what I'm going to do in the meantime? I'm going to play one we ain't heard in a minute. So we're going to take a quick break, and then I'm going to come right back, play this last little bit, hopefully. And then we're going to get on out of here. And, but in the meantime, please hit the like button. Please share this broadcast. And if somebody wants to hear a good positive sound of music right now, tell them to come close to the TV and take a listen to this. Miss Arietta Ward, the one.
This is a gentle reminder of all the things you can do. Only you can shine your hue. Some people tell you what they want you to hear. When they do, it comes through very loud and clear. You have a vision mission in the eye of your mind, as the sage saying goes, seeking 9 none shall fight. Don't allow unsavory thoughts in your head. Fill it with these fabulous ones instead. Winner, done, joy, promise, triumphant and glee. This is what I say to thee. Remember, when you walk in your own special gate, you're gonna have the ones they're gonna hate. Look up to the sky and know you shine like the sun. When it gets too busy, just know you can always come back to the wood. Come back to the source, yeah. Oh, yeah. Your mind is sound, thoughts are valid, they do matter. Know your truth, the truth within your heart will never shatter. Hold your head up high. Be confident as you climb your ladder. Remember, only you can do what you do. Come on, Lightkeeper, gonna illuminate your hue. Show that smile, the one with the joy and the fun. When it gets too loud, just know you can always come back to the one. Come on back to the one within. Hey, hey. All right, lovely people, it's time to sing along, long, long. Let's walk in thine power. Sing, sing. Walk in your power. Hey. Blessings will continue to shower you. To shower you. As long as you shine your light. Go on and walk. Walk in your power. Yeah, yeah. Blessings will continue to shower you. Shower you. As long as you shine. Come on and walk in your power. Walk in your power. Blessings will continue to shower you. As long as you talk about the blessings that will shower. Blessings will continue to shower you. As long as only you walk in your power. Blessings will continue to shower you. As long as you shine, only you can shine it bright. Blessings will continue to shower you. Shine. Walk in your power. Blessings will continue to shine it. Yeah. As long as you shine your light. Walk in your power. Blessings will continue to shower you. As long as you shine your hue, yeah.
All right, and we're back, and you know, I just don't know what's going on with this damn video. For some reason, it's supposed to be uploaded, and then I tried to upload it up here, and it's a damn hassle. It's amazing to me. I don't know what's going on. Let's see. Try one more thing. Hopefully, I can get this up here. We will see. Okay. Okay, it's telling me something's uploading. Where is it? All right. Recent. Okay, so here we go. Okay, looks like we got something here. Hopefully, and now it's looking like it doesn't want to. Okay, something's wrong with this. So I have it here, and then it won't play. Oh, wow. Okay. I don't know why it's doing this. Let me... Wow, this is crazy. It won't even open for me, family. It literally won't even open for me. So, let's see if I have it here. So I think I at least bookmarked it on Twitter. If I did, then I have it there. Like, I don't know what is going on with this video. It's not even telling me there's some kind of, I'm not even getting an error message or anything. It just ain't showing. So then I open it, it won't open. So it looks like it's just one of them things. So hopefully I can get into where where else I saved it. Let's see. Oh, I think I'm getting close. Hopefully, do I got it? No, that ain't it. Come on now. No, I got to have this thing somewhere. Unless they done yanked it. You know what? Is it gone? Family, I think they done took this off the internet, and for some reason, I have the literal video, and it is not letting me play it. Now that's really crazy. Hey, Black Mama. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And also, let me see if I can get this one. Let's download here. No, so let me just go on there. Because I see my share is tripping. Okay, that's supposed to be gone. Okay, that's supposed to be out of mine altogether. Okay, so let's go here. Okay, let's see if I can pull up my Twitter. Okay, so this was going on in Long Island.
What's the problem? Why are you interrupting it? I'm standing right here. I'm not getting knocked out. Scary, guys. What's the problem? Why are you interrupting it? I'm standing right here. I'm not getting knocked out. Scary, guys.
The little Kyle Rittenhouse affect people. They ran out there to go bother people at a bookstore. At a bookstore. Well, I gotta show you how racist you are. You gotta read those powerful books. Hell no. Insane. Insane. Let me see here. What else I got here? Because the video I wanted to play for y'all, it looks like that is going to be something hard for me to show. Uh-oh. There's a team of guys in a... Wait a minute. Wait. What am I looking at here? Okay. Check this out. So this is why we need armed militias. Yes, we do need armed militias. We just need to make sure them cats are certified and not on no COINTELPRO agent shit. Which is tricky because it's a kind of a secretive type of area. So these are the people outside waiting, I guess. They're around for the protest, clearly. interesting thing about this is where the dude lives. So this is where the shooter lives, right? How are we seeing a whole team of armed people in his actual courtyard? The shooting hasn't happened yet. Kind of interesting, huh? Kind of interesting. And so this was, let's see, what does this say? This says there's a team of guys in Rose City terrorists all geared up right next to Normandale Park. I'm assuming that they are guarding the house that the shooter came from, or they're about to raid it or something. Okay, this is after. Okay. Wow. Yeah, it was out there pretty damn thick. Let's see. It is amazing. The one video I'm looking for is the one video that will not upload. That's whack. All right. And it literally won't even upload in my Google Drive, which is really weird. Okay. So, since because I can't get this video, it looks like... Oh, wait. I do want to hit up something else before before I go, because today Joe Biden is trending. So for those who don't know, hashtag Biden is a failure, hashtag Biden worst president ever, and that's literally the hashtags today that are trending this evening about Joe Biden, which that's. It is what it is. He has definitely made it a big failure. Okay. This is the other part I think I wanted to hear.
Organization here in Oakland, California.
Okay. Yes. Let me get this. Let me get this in here. Okay. Look at this.
For us to have citizenship here in America as well.
Okay, I'm back there.
Okay, my name is Brian Bowling, and I'm a member of the.
What in the hell?
Bowling, and I'm a member of the West Coast and Cobra organization here in Oakland, California.
Yikes!
I'm a retired social worker. My wife is a retired nurse. Our goal is to repatriate to Africa, particularly to Ghana, and reparations will assist us in our goal to repatriate. And we advocate also for dual citizenship, for us to have citizenship here in America as well as in a country in Africa. And I would like one of the panelists, someone. Okay, my name is Brian Bowling, and I'm a member of the West Coast.
Repatriate. So automatically, see, that's what I'm talking about. We start talking about reparations. These people start popping out the woodworks about what we need to be spending our money on. I mean, good grief. Like, no, how about we get our money and then enjoy being here on our soil for once? People act like that don't make sense. And I really don't understand how it does not. Lord. Okay. Let me see. I'm going to try to see if I can get this joker one last time before I go. For those of y'all on my Twitter, I know y'all seen the African cat with the piss. Y'all see the cat washing itself with the cow piss. You know, it was a bit ghastly. You know what? Okay, there it is. All right, let me stop sharing it. Okay, I think I got it. This is so irritating. February 14th. See, the one thing about maybe I need to figure out how to change my Google Photos because, well, I don't. I like the how it works with the dates, but my issue is this: if there's a video from a certain date, I'm literally downloading it today. I don't need it to go back into some file way back in God knows when for you to play it. That just really sucks. It's so annoying. So overly annoying. Oh, and then you have to go back and you got to search for it in spaces to where it just simply shouldn't be because that's not even in the order to which you uploaded it. Gotta love technology, man. There it is. Wow. Good grief. And it's supposed to be favorited. It's not. All right. Hopefully we could download it this time. Okay. Here we go. Finally. Lord. Z-Nay J. Yes, indeed. Oh man. We had to just get Trump out. There's too many of them people. And they already popping up out the woodwork. Like, oh man, man was, and that, you know what they're trying to do now is they're trying to literally tie that to they're trying to tie reparations to the Democrats. Like, are these people retarded? I mean, and I say that in the old sense of the word. I know it might be an offensive term these days, but geez, what's wrong with y'all, man?
You motherfucker! You fucked with the wrong fucking people, bro! Stop the car! Stop the fucking car! Stop the car! Stop the car! Stop the car! Stop! Stop the fucking car! Stop the car! Turn off the vehicle! Turn off the vehicle! Turn off your vehicle! Get off the fucking car!
Now, for those who don't remember and have not been watching me for a while, I played this from a different angle. There was an incident here that happened some months back, and they tried to work it all kind of different ways. There was, and I even showed the map of the Google map of the streets over there. So we had a white supremacist or suspected white supremacist decide that he was going to go to the neighborhood to which he does not live in to go drive through a protest, and this happened.
Look out! Hey, man! Turn the vehicle on!
Medic! This motherfucker right here, I'm getting his fucking plates. Fuck that shit. This motherfucker. Try to fucking run people over. Fuck you, bro. The fuck is your problem, huh?
Turn off the car!
Get out of the car! You fucking coward! You better fucking not! This is not a fucking game! You better not! You better fucking not! You better fucking...
Funny how they always tend to show up to protest armed. Anybody who doesn't want problems don't go to problems, and you definitely don't go to problems with your weapon.
Not. You better fucking not. Put your fucking gun down. Put your fucking gun down.
Put the weapon down. I don't care. Put it down. Back up. Back the fuck up.
You got about 5 seconds to lower that fucking weapon.
Back the fuck up.
You got about 5 seconds to lower that fucking weapon.
Get your booty back in your car.
You want this fucking march of yours to go bad? You tell these cocksuckers to move. Shut up. Man, I'm getting sick of this shit.
Now, one of the bigger sister that you see right there, she's one of the local advocates for, against gun violence and whatnot like that. So this is what you're seeing out there while this dude is going to come out here and try to bring his little weapon out there.
Get the fuck out of here, you fucking Nazi! Get out now! Leave! Leave! Fucking leave! Leave! Don't you fucking dare! Get the weapon! Get the weapon! Get the weapon! Get him on the ground!
Now, see, what about a hero there? See, you can clap it up for the hero right there. Let's give it up for the hero that disarmed that would-be vigilante, that Kyle Rittenhouse effector. You know what I'm saying? See, the Kyle Rittenhouse effect. See, this is what it is. Kyle Rittenhouse was effective, and this dude was going to come out here and do the same thing. And, well, you know how things turn around real quickly sometimes.
Get up! Get up! Who has the gun? Who has the gun?
Get the fuck in your truck. Let's go.
I'm a disabled Marine.
Get the fuck.
I don't give a fuck who you are.
You ready to get the fuck out of here? No, pat him all the way down. Pat all his shit down.
Call an ambulance.
You ready to get the fuck out of here?
Call an ambulance.
No, you give me your fucking phone. You're fine. You're embarrassed.
You're fucking fine. You're fucking fine. Fucking and bullet shells and everything. Trying to fucking kill somebody. Go fuck yourself. No, you do not.
Now, look at he was out there trying to kill people. And see, that's the difference that I didn't have from the first angle. So, yeah, this is what was really going on. Ongoing criminal investigation on Cinco de Mayo, but they ain't really put no charges on this dude. Didn't this happen before Rittenhouse? Yes. Yes, indeed. This is Cinco de Mayo last year. And what, Kyle Rittenhouse is what, August? So, I mean, you know, you got all of this going on. See, that's the whole thing. These people all of these people are these Roman McCrae novel readers. And they really into this, you know, let's go ahead and then they'll go do that, and then they'll play victim. Oh, I didn't know, because he was in there crying in the bed. Oh, I don't know why they did this to me. And he's talking to Lars Larson, which Lars Larson is one of the biggest local suspected white supremacists that's not so suspected on air out here. When he talks about Black Lives Matter, he says, those Black Lives Matter types. So that means those and those lovers. That's what that means. But, you know, we got to stay up on top of that. And also, it does look like we got some breaking news going on here. So let me see if I can get a little bit of this going on in here. Oh, no, we don't need that. Got that. That's not what I want to hear. Let's see. I know something's live. They were just doing oh, here we go. Let me get this in here. So this, let me get this in here. Man, I guess we have some international news cracking right now. So let's see what's happening. Turn the sound on.
Dramatically, the assistance that now the Ukrainian military needs more than to fight with them, to fight alongside of them. So they need support. They need equipment. They need ammunition. They need the basis of resistance, and they are going to need then continued support to resist the Russians as they try to occupy. The Russians can get in. The Russians can get into Ukraine. There's no doubt about that. When they try to hold, when they try to do something, if they try to do what the general talked about in terms of replacing this government, they try to occupy a nation of 40 and 44 million people, many of whom, millions of Ukrainians will be fighting the Russians, the occupiers, on the streets of their villages and towns and forests. This will be miserable for the Ukrainian, for the occupiers of Ukraine, the Russians, and the United States and other NATO allies from the NATO flank, from the eastern flank, will be supporting this resistance, these civilian resistance, the military resistance, the territorial defense forces. Ukrainians will fight. Their military will fight right now. Their then fight once the occupiers try to come into their, and the civilians will fight as well.
It's now dawn in Ukraine, a new dawn. You know so many people there. Have you heard from anyone you know as Ukrainians wake up to what's going to be an incredibly challenging day?
I'm hearing from Ukrainians who've been up all night. They've been up all night. So they've been watching this as we have. And they are just as determined as I just said. These are people who are determined to save their country, to protect their country, to protect their freedom. They've lived under Russian control before. They don't want to go back. They will defend. They will fight. And in the end, Andrew, they will prevail.
It's a new day in Ukraine. Former U.S. Ambassador to
You said you heard this about Iraq, Libya, and Syria, and Afghanistan. Exactly. And again, remember the time we're in. The pressure is on for reparations. So the great need of a distraction is right here. And I guess for the Democrats, such a distraction could not come at more of an ideal time. However, how it's being handled and how it's being dealt with also is turning into just one more disaster. And it's great because, again, we've been right here to be made whole. No one has been held back from making good on what good should have been done to us, but instead just ensured to keep doing more of the same old wickedness. Well, don't take it personal. Take the bitter with the sweet. Because good things come to an end. Because Babylon is fallen. Babylon is fallen. Let it fall. And let us rise. And so, y'all definitely keep an eye on this Ukrainian thing. Most likely, clearly, America's probably going to get involved. We have some situations going on in other places. America has allies in that are like, so if this thing can go bad for a lot of people very quickly. And people are, oh, no, gas prices might end up being the least of your worries. It might be Red Dawn up here seeing a bunch of Korean soldiers parachuting out the sky, goose stepping down MLK. Because see, here's the one thing: America has a coalition. How many coalitions are there of its enemies against it? While everybody has clearly looked at Joe Biden as being weak, we have Biden sexuals lying to themselves and telling them that Putin is so juiced up and amped up on Donald Trump that he's invading Ukraine with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris in the White House. We're going into a political season here in 2022, and if that is the extent of your political understanding, we're going to need you to bow out of these conversations altogether and maybe just take the best advice you get. Which, in any event, at this point in time, well, I can tell you for my city, and I can tell you for New York, and I can tell you for all of these other Democratic cities that you're supposed to, Minnesota, that's supposed to be so liberal and so not racist. We got a whole situation over here where they're trying to smoke screen a vigil anti-mass shooter. Went out there trying to tell you that he was a homeowner defending himself and defending his property. He lives in a whole apartment, leaving his apartment complex and courtyard to go outside across the street with his gun to go shoot a 60-year-old disabled lesbian who is a trained de-escalator. Couldn't pick more of a soft target. What next? A child? Maybe there wasn't any kids out there so he could go run up on an 8-year-old and say, hey, what's your problem, buddy? You understand? So, yeah, we have to examine our position thoroughly and honestly and truthfully. So we can no longer sit up here and keep telling ourselves we do business off of what we can, off of fair exchange. We don't do business off of fear or shame. When somebody's bringing you fear, that is a disrespect to you and your intelligence and your level of being. If they're trying to shame you, that is an insult to you and your intelligence and your right of being. Why? Because you have the right to know better, although they want to stay remedial. Don't let your political astuteness go backwards for children-minded politics. My mommy said this is who I vote for, so this is why I vote Democrat. Well, we say no tangibles, no vote. Oh, no, my mama said we can't do that. Because that Florida Evans mentality, knowing how to always make sure you lose, just boils up to the surface. James, that's $30,000. You got to give it back, James. We're in the project starving, but James, God don't want us to have this money. We have been so conditioned to look gift horses in the mouth and then look for gifts from people who absolutely hate you. What a cold trick. So with that being said, Make sure you shake the dust off your feet and clear the wax out your ear and get the devil out your home. Because a lot of us have these people who are attached to things. And if you're attached to them damn Democrats blindly, that is a devil in your home. Why? Because they're working against you. If we're trying to go forward, and if they can't see that they need to get on your page to go forward and they want to stay going, we ain't won. This ain't progress. Everybody else is coming here getting instant progress. We over here talking about a discussion. Anybody bringing up 1619 to you in a conversation, they are not politically serious. So from here on out, we taking this thing to a different level. And the political conversation is real. We have to be talking about policies for Black Americans, period. You ain't addressing us, then there's nothing to discuss. All of this, well, what about this? How does that affect us? Well, overall, that ain't our concern. Your concern is overall. We don't govern everybody. We govern ourselves. It's your job to govern all of these people. Right? That's why you're elected. Well, we're one of those groups being governed. Doesn't make everything of ours accessible to all other groups. And we're getting back to that. And there's people who have issues with doing that. A lot of that will always come down to sexual access. And sorry to say it, but a lot of our LGBTQ brethren and sisters, that's the bulk of where our interracial relationships are. Let's keep it a buck. Because people talk about all these men want white women, all these men want white women. From what I see, all of these men and women want white people all together. So gay white men, gay Black men want white men. Gay Black women typically want white women. I think the lesbian field over in the white women field is a little more, and this is where the rubber meets the road once again, in the truth. Have y'all noticed that white lesbians really don't fool with the Black ones? You ever seen a crew with most of them? You can go out and see a bunch of a mixed gay crowd, a bunch of gay men. You'll see all kind of gay men hanging out. What about the women though? Why is the dynamic so different with the women? Maybe we'll examine that down the road here. But food for thought. Something to think about. And just something when you go out and start looking at things, just examine what you see and just like, I never noticed that before. Maybe you know somebody that can actually give you a little more insight than I can on that because they are speaking from the other side of it. So, it is what it is. With that being said, you can follow me on Instagram at beatzillapdx. You can follow me on Twitter, beatzillapdx. You can follow me on Facebook at beatzillapdx and on Patreon, beatzillapdx official, and on Melanated People at Michael Beatzilla Whitmore. And of course, you can email me at ourrealtruth@gmail.com. That's ourrealtruth@gmail.com. You said not the Birdman hand rub. It's so funny. I've always did different things with my hands over the years, and I've had multiple people ask me if I was attached to different stuff. So, no. So I've had to change my hands in pictures because people are like, oh, you're holding your hand like this, you're holding it like, no, it's neither here nor there. It's just, I'm right here. I need to get somebody buy me one of them big old chairs. I need the big, and maybe my arm rest will be sitting up here or something like that. But yes, indeed, you could also donate by way of CashApp. That is CashApp $BeatZillaPDX. That is CashApp $BeatZillaPDX. And of course, we have PayPal. That is ZillaMusac That is ZILLAMUZAK. And that's at PayPal. So with that being said, family, melanated family B1, Z, Nay, J. Absolutely. So we will be back here Friday doing it once again for the weekly wrap up. Of course, I am your host, beatzillapdx official, and gonna be linking up with Queen Amadai Shakur here soon, and then also Tina Barry. So doing some things. Matter of fact, Black Mama, I missed you earlier. So I know that they probably told you I was trying to wait on you. So, but Black Mama, good people. Just making the network. You did? So shout out to all the voices of the new black media, all the grassroots participants, all these voices out here, and all of these scholarly, well-learned, articulate individuals out here who continuously bring this heat. Hopefully one day this will be it, and new black media will be able to. I mean, wouldn't it be nice to have like a broadcast network or a broadcast, multiple networks with new in touch programming? See, there's another thing that we can also ask for, because that's another thing that's been programmed against us. That's another form of revenue that we're not neglecting either. See, you made so much money brainwashing us. We need that money to undo that damage. So we need the facilities, the cameras, and everything you put into this. Because when you are made whole, that means somebody is reversing the damage done to you. And that cannot be done on just a 50%. You're doing extra because you're already in the hole. So we don't have to sit up here and be like, man, we ain't never going to get that. Damn that conversation. We press the issue because that's our right to do so. Don't let nobody tell you, well, we ain't never going to do it. If they never do it, doesn't mean that you don't stop pressing the issue. The one thing that we need to do is make sure that they know our demands ain't going away. Especially now with this damn war. And if nothing else, we ain't going to help you bring a whole bunch of these Ukrainians over here. They already trying to push these laws. Y'all better really be peeping this little opportunity con that they running right now. Oh, well, because see, America can sit back right now and say, we won't even take place in the battle. We just going to take all your refugees. See, we'll play our part. Because it's beneficial for them to get them people over here to undermine us. Then what do? You send the Congressional Black Caucus out here and start talking. Well, come on now. We need to have the compassion for our fellow man. Miss me, old niggas. So just be mindful of that. The push is on. So you're going to be getting a lot of pushback on your social media here. I don't expect too many because they really don't want that Summer Jam screen action. So, they will be coming at y'all, though. They will be coming at y'all. I don't expect it because I've already forewarned folks. The screen is where you're headed. So with that being said, make sure you tune in here Friday evening. Tell your friends, tell your families, tell your enemies. Tune in to the Beatzilla PDX official show for your weekly wrap up to get the true information from a source that is well versed in the University of white supremacy, or wannabe, shall we say? Because we actually do know the truth. And we know that not to be the truth. Because here is where we speak truth to power. Because Babylon is fallen. Babylon is fallen. Let it fall and let us rise. And you know, we're going to have to put that on a shirt. Or maybe we have already done it and you just ain't seen it yet. But just before we go, never forget, family, that over here, this is the Black First Space. It is about truth. It is not about money. Although that is a good thing, this is about the truth and not about money. Although that is great, but this is most importantly focused on empowerment and not money. So if you can't understand that, then I would have to go with the idea and assumption and understanding that you are fully consumed by
mayonnaise, no medicine. There'd be no mayonnaise, no medicine. There'd be no mayonnaise, no medicine. There'd be no mayonnaise, no medicine. There'd be no.
First was the controversial Reverend Jeremiah Wright.
I say America, America's mother, America's daddy, America can eat a dick, America can lick the balls.
reparations or else. Till Friday, y'all. Shalom.
When you know who Satan is,
Yes, sir.
you don't have to kill him. No. The stone of truth. See, that's what you throw.
Right.
Allah says, had we wished to take a pastime from before, surely we would have done it. Nay, we cast truth at falsehood till we knock out its brains. Every one of you that knows the truth, stand up and tell it from the mountaintop. Black people can't take it no more. So wherever you are on the job, in the factory, I don't care where you are. If you know the truth, stand up on the truth and tell Satan, who the hell are you to try and pick my friends? Farrakhan is God's man, and you are from the enemy of God. So to hell with you. Stand up on it like a man.